a few seconds to make sure that everything's actually live and well, because I don't trust Twitch some days. Yeah, because sometimes I don't trust Twitch. Baffling situation. Baffling situation, really, to assume that it's actually going to go live when you tell it to. Alright, close that, minimize Discord. That's open. Get Kali's stream up on my phone before we start doing things this time. Or
for fuck's sake.
Possibly. Hey, Shard.
Being smart about things.
No, I'm now playing the game. Oh, my phone's at 17%. That's going to be sure useful. Why have I incremented? I'm not supposed to have done. Well, we'll call that 0.1. There we go. So yeah, my phone's at 17%, so this is going to be fun. I'm probably going to have to get my cable out or something so I can pay attention to the chat. That's going to be great. Open Kali.
Hey.
Twitch notifications out of the ass. Excellent. Everything is lagging, which is just the best. Do you mind opening Kali's stream? It's live. I can see it. Hey, I have YouTube notifications. They aren't important. Yay, multi-Twitch. Multi-Witch. We like that. Hey, Ad. How you doing? Why the fuck are you? Oh yeah, 'cause I'm on mobile. And mobile Twitch is a bitch. Oh yeah, I need to go pick up the apricot. Apricorn.
There we go.
That's Care's woman influence there. But yeah, hey Shard.
I did not go through all of my encounters yet. But...
we can at least have a starting encounter. Counter, and then we can just add them on afterwards.
Yes. Exactly.
Woo, apricorns. We like these. I could probably be making some of the fastballs already. But I think I'd rather just collect apricorns until I finish the Slowpoke quest. The Slowpoke encounters, rather. Which reminds me that I'm gonna have to grind my Slowpoke up as well. Hey, Kara.
Hey, Kara. Why are you so cold?
You need to not be cold. It's not a recommended situation.
There we go. Okay, now you're on my...
No, Slowpoke does not in fact qualify for fastballs. Fun fact. I love the little talking to Pokemon thing that you can do.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Alright, we got that. And this, and oh god, why?
You know what the real question is about all of this? It's who's looking- wow, my Twitch notifications are broken. I love that. It pops up with, the flavor text, but not the actual title of who's going live.
Interesting.
Slightly broke. Yeah, the real question of this situation is, I wonder who's looking forward to me doing Pokeathlon streams. or Game Corner streams in a couple weeks. / maybe a month. However long it takes for me to get to Goldenrod. I'm going to be doing those, and that's going to be a nightmare. I've still got to pick my 3rd gym shiny as well, because I can pretty much do that from the second I finish 2nd gym, depending on what I want to get, so I should pick that. I'd say something from the forest if they weren't all terrible.
Weren't you gonna go for Sudowoodo, but Sudowoodo actually genuinely sucks?
Yeah, I was thinking. I think I have Sudowoodo written down, actually, but it's terrible. So we're probably not gonna do that. I mean, assuming I get a Zubat from this hunt, it solves my problem anyway, because I can just do it again for Slowpoke. It'll just mean I'm stuck in Slowpoke well for another 6 years.
Yeah.
And we're all definitely down for that and not sick of this music, aren't we, guys?
Oh yeah.
Definitely no music salt going on here.
Weren't you gonna play the Explorers of Sky soundtrack?
I was, and then I closed my fucking internet browser, so I'm not doing it now.
Excellent.
I closed my internet browser when I got up to go and do all the other stuff I was going to do before I started streaming, and suddenly came to the conclusion of, oh yeah, I was going to do that. Well, guess it cannot happen. Ow, itchy ear. Which is the worst with a headset on, because you got to move your headset to do that.
Better than itchy nose, though.
I mean, yeah, I say. I'm undoubtedly going to have an itchy nose again.
Oh, hey, guess what?
What?
So I planted sweet peas like a week ago.
Ooh.
They're sprouting.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna have sweet peas and they're gonna be delicious.
We do love that.
And I have extra peas to plant too, which means that I can plant some for a fall crop.
That's
so
good.
I get sweet peas twice this year.
That's really good. I think my cable stretches far enough that I can plug it in now, and I'm just going to put my phone on charge, actually, so I can keep an eye on the chat. So you'll get to sit there for a few seconds and look at absolutely nothing going on while I move slightly away from everything so I can go plug my phone in. Does the cable stretch that far?
Kara, why are we doing incoherent rage? And yes, peace is good.
Yep, those are good. Get the hell in the plug. Please, I'd like to charge my phone. I'd like to charge my phone so I can watch the Kali stream and also know what's going on in the game. You evil bastard, plug in.
Oh no.
There we go. It's in. We're good. Everything's fine. Now I've just got to not trip over the cables in an attempt to get back to my seat.
Sorry, Kara.
What's happened to Kara? Oh no.
Oh, puppy.
Fucking dogs.
Is it bad tummy mess or?
Oh, speaking of dogs, you want to hear a fucking horror story that's currently going on in my house?
Oh dear.
It's actually nothing to do with my dog, actually, but it is a horror story involving dogs, and it involves my house. So, I have an aunt. Okay? That's how we're gonna start this story. I have an aunt. Said aunt has a dog. It is a fucking tiny dog. Absolute midget of a thing, from what I remember. Haven't seen it in about 2 years or so, because we don't talk to this aunt particularly often. Or at least I don't. My mum speaks to her a fair bit, but we don't, as like a family. And so she has this dog, and she has spoiled the fuck out of this dog. So this is already a good start. She has spoiled the fuck out of this dog. Like, ridiculously, it's horrible. It's a prissy princess. Okay? And she's got this dog, and it's great. And then, a couple of weeks ago-ish, she had this incredible thought that she aired to my mum, which was that the dog was getting lonely when left alone on her own. So, you know what her genius plan is?
Get another dog?
Get another dog. So...
This did not end well.
No, because get a little bit further across and she's gotten another dog. And she tries to introduce the two of them, and Prissy Princess bites the new dog.
Like a bitch.
Yeah, because she's a prissy princess who likes her territory and doesn't like that there's another dog in it. You know, because she's a dog, and that's kind of what they do. So...
Well, that, and like...
Well, you might have heard this story, but it actually gets better, because there's more to it now, because we've had a development happen. So she had Prissy Princess and New Puppy, and because Prissy Princess did not like New Puppy, she got rid of New Puppy. It lasted like 2 days. And she got it rehomed.
Baby.
Just a little bit ago, while talking to my mother, again, she airs, maybe I want a different dog, because maybe that one just didn't clash well with her. So guess who's getting another dog?
Sake.
Yeah, guess who's apparently getting another dog?
At least take the Prissy Princess to meet the new dog first.
Yep.
Jesus.
But that's the thing,
Christ.
that wouldn't even work, because the problem, it doesn't seem to be that Prissy Princess is prissy, it's the fact that she's getting a new dog into the house that's the problem. It's her territory and she gets pissed off about it, basically. So, taking her to like a neutral zone to meet wouldn't work, we don't think, and it's just like...
Well, the thing is you take them to a neutral zone, you get them really friendly with each other, like you get them playing together and get them really friendly, and then you walk them home together.
Yeah.
Like you take them to a dog park or a nearby park or something.
Yeah.
And then it's like she feels like she is taking the new dog home.
That's genius, and I should inform my aunt of this, except the fact that my aunt's a bitch who doesn't listen. Because she knows best.
Well, in that case, then
my aunt's...
Forget it.
Yeah, I have that sort of family, I'm realising. I don't speak to any of the family on one side because we have a cousin and that's it, pretty much. And then the other side of the family we don't speak to because they're 80% poison. We have 3 siblings and one of them is half decent. Well, actually, no, one of them is very decent. It got all the... That particular sibling, that uncle, got all of the decency in this family, I swear to God. And then it filtered down to the cousins from that end of the thing. Nobody else was allowed decency.
I mean, granted, it's mostly because that dog is poorly trained as fuck, so she thinks she's in charge.
Yeah, well, I have some horror stories from when they first got the dog, of, like, trying to take it to, like, dog daycare classes and stuff, and, like, the teaching classes. I just realised how close my mic was to my face. I'm gonna move that. yeah, like, I have horror stories from the start of that because she didn't listen to what people were saying. She didn't listen to me mum's advice, which admittedly my mum's advice may not necessarily be the best because she's not a dog trainer. But we do have another aunt who's not an aunt. She's one of the she's the member of the street that you live on that is the aunt. That's what her
neighborhood
auntie is. Yeah, she's the neighborhood aunt with 5 dogs that she trains for shows. So you know, you'd think she knows what she's doing. So my mum gets advice from her and passes it on to said aunt, and obviously it's ignored because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, clearly, looking at these 5 show-trained dogs that she's had for like 6 years, all brought into the house at different times and everything. Like, you know, you'd think she might know what she's on about, but clearly not. And it's just like, yeah, this is my current life story, is guess who's getting another fucking dog that's gonna stick around for a whole 2 days, probably. And it's like, I'm gonna kill this person.
People like that should not be allowed to have dogs.
Yeah. I'd say people like that shouldn't be allowed to breed, but, you know, I got family sort of out of the equation, so... Actually, to be fair, I don't think I've ever really spoke to these people, so... Yeah, this is kind of, Pix vents for a few minutes moment, because, like, Jesus fucking
That's fair.
Christ. Like,
hey, Pix,
yeah?
Is my stream coming through okay? Because I keep getting, like, welcome to the chat room messages that makes me, like, afraid that my everything is just resetting every 5 seconds.
Is my stream coming through okay?
Yeah, it seems to be fine. Seems to be coming through fine.
Thank you.
No problem. I check mine, but that's effort. But yeah, yours seems to be fine.
Thanks, Shard. I'm sorry, Kara.
Poor King. Yeah, I can't clean up, like, dog sick or any of that. I'm really bad with it.
I can clean up any bodily fluid type thing except spit.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't handle it. I just get really ugh about it.
Even sick I can do, because it's like, it's not like they did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, but it doesn't stop me from getting sympathetically queasy.
Oh yeah, no, that's 100% fair, and Yace is a massive emetophobe, so
yeah,
I have to... But no, I cannot deal with saliva.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's gonna suck if I ever manage to have kids.
Yeah, it really will.
Little baby drool machines.
Yep.
Ugh.
Ow. But yeah, like, I get really sympathetically unwell when, like, anybody throws up, but, like, my dog got sick a bit ago, and it was awful, and, like, the worst part, though, was that she puked on the bed.
Oh, baby.
So we had to, like, get all the blankets together and get those into, like, the bath so we could try and deal with that, and we had to take the dog out and kind of quarantine the dog outside for a bit so that if she was ill again, it was just not where we didn't have to deal with it outside. We can just get the hose, it's fine. Because there's, like, a couple drains, so it's just like, just get the hose out, it's fine. But it's not so easy when she's ill, like, on the bed. And it's like, oh god. But yeah, it was not fun. But yeah.
If Mickey pukes on something, like, Mickey puked on my favorite scarf, like, a couple weeks ago.
Oh no.
And he felt so bad and guilty about it that I really couldn't do anything except for just, like, bundle it all up and pet him and comfort him and baby him until I was sure he was gonna not do it again, and then just go over to the laundromat.
Yeah, that's fair. And yeah, kids are gross. And I'm really glad that my pseudo-niece was really quite, like, cute. She was still in the very cute phase every single time that I've seen her, and not in the sort of cute phase where, like, they dribble everywhere. So it's like the cute phase before they start being, like, spit monsters, and it's great. But she's now, like, she's now grown up a bit, so it's like, yeah. Next time I end up seeing her, which God knows when that'll be, when the fucking quarantine ends in the fucking 26th century or something. Yeah, the next time I end up seeing her, she's no longer going to be the little bundle of adorable. It's just like... Oh, that's not fun. Yeah, that's the sort of not fun that is very not fun.
I'm sorry, Kara.
Yeah. But yeah, on that end, in the end row of that topic of kids, like, yeah, kids cute. I don't want any, thank you. Get them away. I do not want them myself, but I very gladly take your child and fuss for a bit and then hand them back. You can finish dealing with them.
Well, like, okay, I'm the oldest of 4, right? My
Yeah.
mom has 4 kids, I'm the oldest. I remember the dribbly phase of every single one of my siblings.
Yeah, I do not, because I was like 2 to 4 for that sort of bit of it, and it was just like, no, don't remember that. Don't remember any of
like,
that, so I'm safe.
With my youngest sibling, I am 9 years older than him.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so, like, I've got very clear memories of him mostly bald, sitting on a bed, dribbling happily away with eyes the size of basically quarters, just like super absorbed in whatever toy he was doing.
That's adorable, but also, yeah.
Like, why are you so cute and so disgusting at the same time?
Yeah. And God, now talking about this makes me want to see my niece. Oh well. Yeah, someday Britain will get out of quarantine, and when that happens, I'll see if I can arrange a time to go see them again. So obviously, I've got to actually arrange that sort of shit because I don't have a car or anything. So it's like, send the emails and the text messages and all that, and get everything set up, ready to go. But yeah, it'll be nice seeing them again because she's so cute. This is the one that I made the derp bears for, if you remember those, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Twitch won't know about those, and YouTube following on will not, because those were well before I ever got near Twitch. But yeah, once upon a time, a couple of years ago, I knitted teddy bears, and we called them the derp bears because they were a bit rough and tumble, and the eyes were a bit silly. But yeah, that's what those were. It's great. I also made a third one a bit more recently, which is it's a pure white teddy bear, with like, the eyes are slightly messed up because I did them a bit wrong, but it's just a white knitted teddy bear. And then I made a pumpkin jumper for it, so I got orange wool, I took the teddy bear pattern, I duplicated it out a bit, so it's like this really big, like, kind of oversized sweater jumper, and then, like, brought the arms in a bit so that it went over the arms of the bear, knitted that all up, stitched it all together and everything, which took friggin' forever, and then I got some black fabric and found some embroidery threads and stuff, and bought some new needles because I'd left mine somewhere else, my decent sewing needles, and stitched together like a face for it, and it's genuinely the greatest thing I've ever done. But yeah, I did that recently. It was supposed to be a birthday present because she's a Halloween baby, but then stuff happened with uni and lockdowns happened and stuff, and I couldn't get it back to her in time for the birthday, so it was like, sod it, belated Christmas present it is. Belated birthday / slightly early Christmas present, which is what it ended up being when we finally were able to get it there. Hey Care, welcome to hell, part, well actually this is only part 2. This is only
One day
part
I'm going to get my little brother's Christmas present to him.
Yeah, that sounds like a
eventually.
decent one. Decent plan.
It might even be before his birthday.
Woo! If it's not, like, if it's close enough to his birthday, you just call it a birthday present instead, though.
I mean, the thing is I actually told him I was gonna give him to him, though.
Oh, that's true.
But then again, there's 2 of them. I could give him one for belated Christmas and one for birthday.
It might even be before you get a shiny Zubat. Yeah, possibly.
Ugh, shard.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, but
Yeah. I mean, I've got a good thing coming up. It's 2 weeks to my reading week, right? Which basically is half term, but uni student edition. You're supposed to do, like, all of your catch up for classwork and, like, read your books ahead of time, things like that. It's, you know, standard sort of thing. I plan on using it. I'm gonna do the work, and then I'm just gonna stream, basically. Because by that point, I should have finished my optional course that I got back in, like, August. Because I finally picked up doing that properly again, because I now actually have the time and the motivation. So, once I've done that, and then, like, after that, the only thing I've got to do is some courseworky bits for end of the year. So it's great, because I genuinely should have time to stream pretty much whenever I want that week. We might get some more friggin' Blue Rescue Team coming in, and I might actually play that game again.
Yay!
I meant to do it yesterday, and then I got slightly distracted by a billion other things, and then just losing focus on every single one of them. Which seems to be my MO some days, I swear. But yeah, looking forward to Monday though. Monday's gonna be great. In case you're wondering, Monday is not gonna be great. Monday is gonna be a day where I'm very tempted to just go back to bed after I log into my classes.
Fair.
Yeah, Because it's not even, that's the thing, like, I would have problems with that mental, like, that attitude if it was classes. It's the fact that it's not actually classes that I'm doing that's the problem. It's this thing called a symposium, which basically means that they're going to get guest speakers in. I don't know what the guest speakers are for. I haven't actually looked. It's on the email somewhere. But yeah, while I would care, it's also going to be 6 hours. It's at 9 in the morning till fucking 4 in the afternoon. There's an hour break for lunch in the middle of that somewhere. I'm not gonna have any sort of fun, honestly. I'm gonna be half asleep for the first half and bored out of my mind for the second. Because it's just gonna be one of those days, I can already tell. It's also discount
so anybody
candy.
who's... Oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
So anybody who's watching my stream, if on my stream page you scroll down a little bit, I have a new tip jar image, courtesy of Pix.
Yeah, hi, I draw sometimes. Fun story about that. It was completely random. We pretty much got talking. I've meant to have a tip jar set up for my stream for like months. And in fact, I even started it at one point and then paused because I got stuck and confused and then forgot about it. So Wednesday night, we kind of sat down and Callie helped me figure out what I was supposed to be doing and we set that up. And then in return, I started drawing. And that's the result, what you see down there.
And it's adorable and I love it, and it's a teacup dragon and it's fantastic.
He's incredibly
cute. I mean, y'all
cute.
can probably see that it's a teacup dragon, but
yeah, he
it's
is
cute and I love it. So there.
Yeah, I'm actually working on one for my own. Until then, it's just that stereotypical glass jar. But I'm working on one for my own, except it's also driving me crazy, because I decided that the smart thing to do was fill it with coins so I didn't have to draw the remains of the Vulpix that's going to be in the jar. But the problem with that is that I've then actually got to draw the coins. And you know what else I realised, like, earlier that's a problem? I merged all of the coin layers together. Which means that my shade, my colour layer and my outline layer are now on the same thing. Like, the same level. For every single coin. Well, no, that's actually not what the problem is. What the problem is that when it comes to doing my shading, it's going to try and go over the outlining, which it's not supposed to do because it will look a bit weird. So that's going to be fun because I can't actually fix that at the moment because I don't have a pre-draft for that as far as I can figure. So that's going to be really fun to try and mess with. But yeah, Pix does art sometimes. Pix would stream the art, but that requires actually showing you people my artistic process, which is a bit shit. I have two.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun, but I have two artistic processes, and it depends entirely on how good my base sketch is. If I actually did a half-decent base sketch, I'll do it pretty much all with, like, pretty much just the brush tools. If I don't, then the line tool is my friend. I will use the line tool for everything, up to and including circles. But yeah, it's a mess, but the dragon came out well, so.
The dragon came out adorable.
Yeah, it also might be part of the reason I did nothing yesterday, because I sort of drew for 80% of Thursday instead, and then, like, cleaned it up a bit on Friday, and then died. No, it's fine. You're absolutely got no problem. I've absolutely got no problem with just keeling over dead after drawing binges. It's pretty much what I do anyway, it's just that I did this one for a good cause. But yeah, to go back to my thing about Monday though, like pretty much the most enthusiastic bit of all of that is it's discount candy day. But you know what the problem is?
You have to be able to go to the shops to get the discount candy.
Yeah, and I kind of can't do that if I need to be at least like vaguely present in the class. Like I need to at least be there. I don't necessarily need to be paying attention. Yeah, finishing stuff is good for mental health. I'm actually I'm quite surprised that I finished the dragon, to be fair, but that might explain my mental health considering all of these unfinished projects, art and otherwise. Because I sometimes, like, my problem with my drawing is that I sketch quite well, but it's when I start putting details in that I start having problems because I start titivating. I am incapable of looking at something and thinking it's actually done. I'll just start titivating things until it looks awful instead.
Oof, I'm
Which is
sorry,
why...
Kara. I'm glad you're done, but I'm sorry you're sick to your stomach.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have, like, ginger or something? Does that help? It usually helps, right? I don't know, my method for dealing with that is chewing gum. It works as an anti-panic as well, so... But yeah, so that's kind of my problem. But genuinely what might end up happening is I might use Monday just to test my new art softwares out. And possibly my new editing software, because I've got that as well now. It's great. Homer Bundle. It's a wonderful place. The sale's still going on. It's like 22 quid for all this crap. It's amazing. Shill. I'm not even getting paid for this one. Nah, but no, it's great. Honestly. Genius? I am a genius, but only sometimes. But yeah, so that's kind of what my... Actually, I just realised. You know what else is going on the 15th? There's an Animal Crossing event.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the festival. Yeah. So, hey, I could just play that instead. I should absolutely not play Animal Crossing for 6 hours. I should definitely actually pay attention to my class. I am the best, worst influence on just the human race generally at this point. I preach as best as I can to, like, pay attention to your classes and do your work, and I complain a bit when people don't, and it's like, yeah. And then there's this. And then there's this.
Okay, but symposiums are basically like all-day work meetings.
Yeah.
They're there for the people who set them up, not for the people who actually have to attend.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like, my normal argument with that, whenever someone's like, well, you're fucking about when you're in class, is like, in my case, half the time when I'm fucking about in class, it's because there's nothing going on in the class. Like, we had a situation a little bit ago where we had a problem with someone because, not naming any names, but essentially, they were supposed to be in class and they were on the PlayStation and just playing the game with the class in the background. It was like, that's a problem because you're not paying attention to your class. My situation, when I'm fucking about in class, usually, if I'm poking my head into, like, the Discord to take quotes from my narrative games lesson, it's because they're funny, and I can do that with one hand. And, like, keep my other part of my brain on my actual lesson. If I'm sitting down, like, reading fanfic or writing fanfic or something while I'm in the class, then the reason for that is because we've took a break, and I'm sitting here doing nothing in the break. We're doing an activity, and I have finished said activity. Yeah, I can see all your quotes there. People know what I'm talking about, but for the sake of common sense, we're gonna keep the rest of that off. But a lot of people probably already know what I'm on about there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we're either doing, like, we're taking a break, and I've just got back from it. We're on the lunch hour or something, which technically doesn't count as being in class. We've paused the thing to do like an activity, and I finished that activity, so I'm messing about until the teacher comes back. Or, on the one other occasion, I've already reviewed the work for this week, so I'm just going to sit back and not do anything, pretty much, because I've done the work. Because the thing is the teachers post their work on the page ahead of time, so if you've done it before class, you don't necessarily need to pay attention, because all they're doing is reading through the PowerPoints that you've already had put up online. And, like, that's pretty much it. That was actually exactly what happened, what day is it? So, yeah, last Monday. We had a class where, literally, it was the PowerPoint from 2 weeks ago. I had done that PowerPoint, I'd done my notes, I'd done the tasks involved on said PowerPoint presentation from the class. So that entire, like, 3 hours of class, pretty much, wasn't really useful to me because, like, I'd done it. So I could just zone out because all that was happening was the teacher was going over what's on the PowerPoint. There was occasionally a bit more info, but it's like, not much. So it's like, yeah, sure, maybe I am hypocritical for being like, yeah, I'm not paying attention, and or like, yeah, you should pay attention while I'm also fucking about, but I tend to schedule my fucking about so that I'm not missing anything. Whereas, you know...
I don't think that's hypocritical.
Yeah, like, you know, whereas if you're messing about when you actually... At the time of said class going on, you thought that you needed this information to pass your exams, because fun fact, I'm pretty sure we're not doing GCSE and A-level exams again this year, which is just great, because, I mean, it got me out of having to do my exams, which is pretty good, and I still got decent grades for it, which I'll take, but also, like, god damn it, guys. If you hadn't fucked up your first COVID response, this wouldn't be happening.
Right.
If you hadn't actually, to be fair, I don't think I can even say if you hadn't fucked up the first response, because I'm pretty sure we're actually on response 4 or 5 by now and not 2. So, you know, if you hadn't fucked up any of the previous ones, we'd probably be fine by now. But, you know. Let's not turn this into a politics rant, or I just bitch about my goddamn government's COVID response by now, because, that's not what we're here for.
If we're gonna bitch about politics.
Yeah, if we're gonna bitch about politics, yeah, let's not do that. I don't pay enough attention to politics to reliably bitch about it anyway, to be honest. Most of my knowledge of politics tends to be US politics, and it's what I read from the Discord channels.
I mean, that's completely fair.
And when I say
But
Discord,
also,
I mean...
I wish I didn't pay attention to politics
Yeah,
near as much as I do anymore.
I pretty much pay attention to your politics channel and that's it, and I only pay attention to that out of some vague sense of I'm a mod, I feel like I should look at this channel. I don't pay attention to the one in the TV anymore because, like, you know, it's just a train wreck and a half 80% of the time, and I'm pretty sure it's gotten, like, 3 new rules attached to that friggin' server since it's, like, started. But yeah, I pay attention to that one because...
For the first ever while that politics channel was new, I had that fucker muted.
It's always been muted.
I only unmuted it recently when I realized, hey, nobody's actually fighting in it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, our politics channel is really quiet for some reason. It's kind of great. It's literally just info and I love it. Well, like 80% of the time,
you know, like occasional debates, but
yeah,
not, like,
but they're not
just
arguments.
arguing.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Shard, we've kind of got into a hell zone where we're getting each other's targets a lot. I mean, for me it makes sense because Zubat's an 85%. Kali's just getting hella lucky with that 15%. Which reminds me, I forgot to look into Knight's little PM thing that they sent. I was gonna do that, and then I forgot.
I also forgot to look into it. I did glance at it, but I forgot to look at it. Hey, Dow!
Hey, it's a Dow. How you doing? Welcome to hell.
Yep, we're in hell.
We are indeed. The slow descent into insanity.
What's that one theme that goes like... I don't remember it anymore. Damn it.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Hear it in my head, but
I was like listening really hard to what you were trying to do there, and I was like,
I can hear it in my head, but I can't do it out loud because I'm a dumbass.
That's fair.
It might be Lavender Town, actually.
Usually Lavender Town is the melody that gets stuck in people's heads. Because it's
That's
1, 2, 3, 4.
because the Lavender Town music was amazing.
It's so good, yeah. It really annoys me, actually, that we've got a different version in this game, but the different version's not bad. I think I sent that to you, didn't I?
I believe you did, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Alright, I like the original.
Fuck me. I need to get the fucking smoke ball from Goldenrod so quick because I just heard the sparkles from Quilava and had a fucking panic attack. So I was like, shit, really? No, not really. That's your Quilava. You've had that for a while. I need the smoke ball and I need my goddamn rat and I need it now.
Can I please just get a shiny? I don't even care what shiny anymore.
Same. I'm at 455. You're probably over 1,000. Actually, no, you're almost definitely over 1,000 given that you've had like an extra 4.5 hours off stream.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads me to a question. Are we counting every encounter that is not a shiny, whether we're looking for one or not?
That, no, I don't count like that. Otherwise I would have a lot higher of a counter. I only count my encounters when I'm actively hunting. If I get a random shiny in the grass when I'm going between things, it counts as random shiny without an encounter value, whereas if I get one while I'm doing this, it will be a shiny with an encounter value, essentially.
Christ, Shard.
If we end up with... If somebody does the Mewtwo... How many badges do you need for Mewtwo? Is it 8 or 16? I feel like it's all 16 so you can get into the cave, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I did start a Mewtwo hunt at one point. If somebody sits down and does the goddamn Mewtwo hunt, then God help us all.
I'm gonna do the Mewtwo hunt.
I'm tempted.
I really want a shiny Mewtwo.
So do I. I'm gonna get one through Sword and Shield if I get one at all, to be honest, though, because that's got a better encounter rate and everything.
You have Sword and Shield.
That's true. You should get it. You know, instead of sending me 40 fucking quid for drawing a dragon. I'm not mad about it, but I am mad about it.
I will repeat this as many times as it takes for you to understand. Your work and time has value.
I'm aware of this, but there's still better things you could be spending 40 quid on.
Okay, but I wanted to spend it on a teacup dragon.
Fair enough.
Besides, I'm pretty sure Yace is gonna get me a sword at some point.
Yeah, probably. It's a good game. I like it. But we don't need that rant again. We've been there once.
We've been there like 3 times now.
Well, yeah, but only one of those was 45-minute long.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true.
Only one of those is actually a rant. Yeah, Ho-Oh and Lugia I know are 8 badges. Because I'm pretty sure we're both going for the Lugia hunt as well.
Yes.
We're gonna have a lot of legendaries. Or at least I am, because I'm doing the fucking beasts. Like, half of my, like, a lot of my palette is actually legendaries. It's the beasts, Lugia. I'm gonna do Ho-Oh at some point as soon as I can get access to it. I think you can do Latias or Latios through soft resets, but I can't remember and would need to actually get that out, because they're... I feel like they're either one of them's Roma and one of them's static, or they're both static, but it depends on the game which one you get, in which case it's Latias for this game. No.
And also,
it's
yes,
Latios for this game, and it's a Roma. Yeah, 16. Yeah,
hey,
it is
it's
16.
night.
Hey, it is night.
Hey.
Hello, welcome. And yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll allow that one. But yeah, so it's like at this point, a lot of my team is legendaries already, or a lot of my hunt's gonna be legendaries rather, which is gonna be hilarious because soft reset hunts are the bane of my existence. Because if there is one thing more boring than running up and down in a straight line, it's just rapidly pushing the same button over and over again. It's like, oh boy, welcome to prepare for mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least with running up and down, you have to pay at least a minimum amount of focus to the running up and down part. Whereas with soft resetting, it's a lot easier to slip and hit the reset button than it is the run button. Especially when you're actually using the arrow keys. Or the D-pad keys, you know what I mean. So yeah, it's great. That's gonna be fun. Oh well, it gets us a Lugia. Hey, I just realised that means that technically I don't have to get Slowpoke, because that's my Psychic type. Fuck's sake!
For fuck's sake.
Well, I guess that clears my target sheet for this fucking cave then, doesn't it? God,
No.
I'm a moron. I have been...
because you still need to fucking shiny hunt something.
Yeah, I need to hunt something for the third gym, so it might as well be Slowpoke and or second Zubat. You know, like second breakfast.
Oh my
What
god.
was my brain going for there?
Oh
Hang
my
on.
god, okay, so my eyes just blurred really weirdly to the point where it looked like this Zubat was in bondage gear.
Okay, that's impressive.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Even know anymore.
I don't either. I'm not questioning it. That was strange.
Oh, I see why. It's because it's Encounter 69.
That'll be why. Brain. Yep. Yeah, all Kanto. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was all Johto or Kanto, or if you had to punch red in the gob before you could do it. And honestly, if you had to punch red in the gob before we could go to Mewtwo, then at that point that's just a farewell hunt while you wait for the other person to catch up.
God.
But yeah, that is honestly so fucking typical of me.
Hey, Mega Man, you came in at a really weird point.
Yeah, welcome to this fucking section of the stream, I guess.
Shard is just like, yeah.
Oh my
God, Shard.
I almost feel bad for you, Mega Man, but no, this is what you signed up for, really, when you clicked on us doing shiny hunts. You clicked on it for something and you got it. You sure got it. You sure got something.
The shiny latex bondage Zubats. I never thought that sentence would come out of my mouth.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be noting down bondage Zubats as something for my description later, but you know, that's what we're gonna do. I've got a mini notepad that sits under my desk. I'm using it for literally anything and everything, and at the moment I'm using it for my video description notes. But yeah, that's sure is.
For when you post this shit on YouTube.
Because when I post it and when I've done the streams with you, which has been every single stream recently, I post it with Kali and then a kind of cliff notes of what we discussed. Some of them have been really entertaining to write, actually. I think one of my favourite was last night's when I posted that, because what exactly was it I said? Talking about like repel tricks, Voltorb flip in the game corner, Pokemon debates, random food, and Kali's cursed as fuck house.
Oh right, I forgot I was telling you guys about my childhood home.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were promised more stories about your weird fucking house. Yeah, why not? Part 2.
Okay. So you know how there's usually like crawl spaces in the walls and in the attic and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we bought the house, those were just open.
Oh
you
my
could just
God.
walk into the walls and shit. Hey! It's Insomniac Toaster. Hi,
Hey!
Toasty.
Hi, Insomniac.
How you doing? Okay,
Oh, we never set up
so
the
yeah,
shout-out thing, did we? I just realised that. Oh well.
Oh
it's
yeah,
fine.
no, I've totally forgot to...
That's
Shit.
not important.
Anyway, so when my mom bought this house, you could just walk into the walls. And this was only upstairs. And the upstairs was basically like half the attic. So when you walked into the walls, you basically walked into the attic proper, but there was no floor. So if you weren't careful and you didn't stay on the cross beams, you would end up stepping on insulation and falling through the ceiling to the floor below.
This sounds like a story of experience.
No. None of us ever did that. But what happened was my grandpa was an electrician.
Okay.
And so he helped my mom by checking all the wiring and stuff, which was fucked, by the way.
Of course it was. This house is like a haunted
Only one
house.
room in the upstairs had a working light switch. And all of the light fixtures were basically just, here is where you put the bulb, and then there are exposed wires.
I'm slowly becoming more and more convinced that you actually bought the old chateau from Sinnoh instead. Like, that's what your house was.
Yeah, it kind of
was. Or, like,
was
the fucking
the
old house.
chateau.
You were the old house in black and white too. That place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. The cursed-ass one where you find the kid that you need to get the Cresselia feather to or something. Or you get the Cresselia feather from.
And then it turns out to be a... Oh, hey, Posse!
Hey, Posse.
Hey, thank
Welcome.
you for the resub!
Yeah, resubs are good.
Okay, so where was I? Oh, right, okay. So when my grandpa was checking the wiring and stuff, and then telling my mom that under no circumstances should we be using the wiring for the upstairs, essentially, they put down sheets of, like this really shitty wood kind of stuff, so that he could, like, over the cross beams so that he could stand on it. And then they never took that out. So, and then they never nailed the actual, access points shut. So guess what made really great hiding spots for shit that you didn't want people to know you had?
The access spots.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, and then there was supposed to be a trapdoor in the closet, right? In the closet of the upstairs that I shared with one of my sisters. Yeah, that never got a trapdoor. So if you wanted to never see something again,
You could just drop it in the pit.
No, you could throw it up because it's a trapdoor in the ceiling that leads up into the actual attic proper.
You could just throw it up there and
have a
never
floor.
going back.
Yeah, just throw it up there. You will never see it again because it takes a ladder to get it up in there, and it didn't have a ladder to access it.
Are you sure that wasn't a portal? Are you sure that was a trapdoor, not a portal?
I'm pretty sure. Well, it wasn't a trapdoor is the thing. It was just a hole in the ceiling.
So yeah,
it was
possibly a
supposed
portal.
to have a trapdoor.
Possibly a portal to another realm. Not sure.
Possibly, yeah.
Never tested it, so you know. Never went on any weird Fae adventures, which we should all be really glad for, to be honest.
I tried to, because I used to be light enough when I was small. That yeah, no, Toasty, it's completely normal.
Well, this is the house that had a back garden full of scrap metal, so yeah, it's completely normal.
Oh, well, Toasty wasn't around for that
Oh yeah,
one.
of course.
Yeah,
you weren't around last time.
The backyard used to be a, they tried to turn it into a landfill. So it used to be full of rusty scrap metal and cars and refrigerators and stuff that we could go on treasure hunts for, like antiques.
Marbles.
And marbles.
Lots and lots of marbles.
And agates and stuff, just by digging in the yard. But no, so I used to try to get up in there by climbing up the walls and then standing on the bar that you would hang clothes on to try to get up into it.
Did it ever work?
No, I was too short.
Damn. Your house was so fucking cursed.
It was very cursed.
That's
let's
incredible.
See.
Oh, let me just quickly answer.
Bathroom that
let me just quickly answer this
when
for
my
Night.
mom was the one operating it.
Okay, that's amazing. Let me just quickly answer this one for Night. We never actually have tested that. We'll probably test that fairly soon. So
yeah,
we'll
like
have to have a look on the
tomorrow or
Wi-Fi
something.
thing. Yeah, probably. I don't think they had one, Mega Man. I don't think they had one.
Oh, no, we didn't have a general contractor. No, no, my mom bought this house and then, tried to do the whole fixer-upper thing using just family. So they
Worked
spent
wonderfully.
my mom and my and her husband at the time spent like 3 weeks refinishing all the floors. And I'm positive that I'm missing incrementing some of these, but
Yeah, I'm almost certain I'm doing the same.
let's see what else was cursed about this. Oh right, my bedroom window looked out over the garage, so I would just pop the screen out and go sit on the garage roof in the middle of the night sometimes.
Oh my god.
Well, see, the thing is, Mega Man, when the house was built, it was actually quite a nice house, and it was kind of old. It was the people who owned the damn thing before we bought it. We never did get the heating ducts replaced. And there was one...
Why was that said in the same tone of voice of we never did get the stain out? Why was that said in that same tone of voice?
Well, because it's kind of the same, remember? Because the cats had
Oh yeah, the
litters of
cats.
kittens in the ducts.
Of course, yeah, that would explain why. Oh, fuck me.
No, and so even though we did manage to find covers for most of the ducts, there was one duct that was just this big hole in the floor that if you stepped into it, your foot would go through the floor of the duct. And so we just kind of put this rolling little kitchen island thing over it. And so for 10 years, it never had a cover. It just had like this kitchen island cover on top of it.
Oh my god. Yes, Solron, that's about my mood as well. That's my current attitude, it's just, oh my god.
Wait, what did Soren say?
Just,
My chat refreshed again.
It's just screaming. It's just, ah! That's all it is.
Let's see, what else is cursed about this place?
Everything? This sounds like something out of a creepypasta or a bad horror movie or something.
Oh,
Like,
right!
your life seems to feel like a bad horror movie. Like, white family bought this obviously haunted house because it's just a fixer-upper and somehow didn't die. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so you know how when you have a fireplace, there's a place in the fireplace that you can kind of just shove all the ashes in?
Yeah.
And if you have a basement, the ashes go down into the basement, and there's supposed to be like a bucket or something down there that you can just scoop the ashes into and then throw them away or whatever.
Yep.
The people who owned the house before us used the fireplace so much and never emptied the ash chute
Oh no.
that it basically, the ashes solidified in the chute. So when you went down into the basement, you could just look at the ash chute and just kind of scrape the ashes out a little bit, but never actually. I know, right?
Probably. That was almost certainly full of dead people at that point.
Yes,
like,
they were full of ashes of the past. Exactly, Bossy.
hey, that's like stream 3 or 4 in a row now. Excellent.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I should have posted the stream announcements in TV.
We never ended up getting the fucking chimney fixed. So, in 10 years of living in that goddamn house, we used the fireplace once, and that was the time we figured out that the chimney was broken.
Jesus wept. Like, genuinely, somebody is weeping out there, and I think it's God. Like, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised, because I'm fairly sure that's the only reason that you survived living in that house.
Well, and like, that house had 2 bathrooms, right? 10 years we lived in that house.
Mm-hmm.
The downstairs bathroom never got one of the little, you know, the place where the tongue of the door handle goes, like,
yeah,
the clicky bit. We never got one of those little things that's supposed to hold it. So the place where that went was just an empty hole, which means that the door would just swing open even if you closed it.
Oh no.
So my mom's husband just tapped 4 nails into the hole to act as the stopper for it. It's like they didn't want to buy just the little metal bit that could just screw in right there.
This is the combination of like white horror movie family and cheapskates, honestly, at this point. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, Shard. Yeah, that was... Well, because when my mom saw the house the first time, they were using it. And she didn't think to ask why the front door and the back door were propped open in 30-degree weather in January while the fire was roaring.
As somebody who has a fireplace, that hurts, honestly. Like, we have a fire and that hurts.
I know, and I was so upset too because I always wanted to have a fire, but we never could because they never got it fixed.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh my god.
Let me see if I can think of one more cursed thing about this stupid house.
Yeah, you think of one more cursed thing while I try and figure out what the hell the next topic's going to end up being. Because I got nothing at this point.
Oh, right! The thing of dirt in the basement.
Okay, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
Oh no, it sounded super creepy, and even when we lived there, I thought that's where the people who lived there before us buried bodies.
Excellent. Good to know that you were the sane person in that family.
Alright, so, the basement was huge. It actually took up the entire footprint of the house, which some basements, I guess, don't. And in the back corner, right underneath where the kitchen was, there was this area that was just, it kind of was like a tub of concrete. Like somebody had just, like, made a tub out of concrete.
Okay.
And it was taller than me, so it was like maybe 5 feet tall and deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never knew how deep because when we bought the house, the entire goddamn thing was full of dirt.
Okay. That's
like,
definitely
just
not, like, slightly
soil.
sketchy. Hey,
Yeah.
Mercatron, thanks for the host.
Hey.
Okay, go on about your cursed shit.
Okay, we have no idea what they used it for. Mom thinks that they tried... if I remember correctly, my mom thought that they were trying to use it for like indoor pot growing or something.
Okay.
But
As
the
one
soil
does.
was dead. Like there was no life in that soil. Like it was dust, basically.
Excellent.
And I swear to God, I thought that they buried bodies in there because it's just like, it's really deep. It was quite wide. It was as long as I was laying down at that age, so maybe 4.5, 5 feet-ish.
This is slightly nightmarish, if I'm honest with you. Like, just
Slightly what?
slightly nightmarish, just a little. You know, only the smallest bit of a horror show.
The thing is like, eventually my mom started using it to try to grow plants indoors. Like down there, like she got a sheet of plastic to block it off so it would act like a greenhouse, and these indoor plant growing lights, and would go down there and futz about with plants in there, and I'm like, Mom,
I'm pretty
no,
sure
that's
there's
where
dead
they
bodies.
buried the bodies.
I'm pretty sure there's a dead person in there.
I'm 90% sure. Well, either that or any of the cats who died.
I
Like,
mean,
if any of their cats fucking died, they'd bury
well, they
them
clearly
down
had a
there.
lot of cats, so that's probably believable.
I know!
What the fuck?
It's like, they can't bury them in the junkyard, the ground's too full of rusted metal.
You're like, this is genuinely the sort of situation where I don't know whether to laugh or cry because this is a wreck. Like, honest to
Well,
God.
laugh now because the place is fine now. It looks great.
Excellent.
I looked it up on Google Maps the other week, and it looks fantastic.
I thought you were about to say yesterday, then I was like, oh, getting stories, nostalgia moment. Gotta go see how cursed this fucking building still is.
But... Oh yeah, no, true, that's true, Mega Man. If they buried bodies in there, the ground wouldn't have been dead.
Well, who knows? It
And
might have been a very
now
long time.
as an adult. But we're talking about 11-year-old Callie here.
Yeah, a little tiny child who doesn't know what they're talking about. I don't know, you might have been good at biology. I wasn't, I sure as shit didn't know how that worked. I hate biology, it's a horrible class.
I didn't really take a biology class until I was like 17.
Fair enough.
So...
Yeah, we had it at GCSE level, and I hated it, and I don't like it. Because 80% of it was fucking cells. Fuck cells. Although, to be fair, my favourite lesson was the fucking periods lesson. Because, you know, you have one of those lessons, everybody knows that one. You have the lesson that's on, like, sex and the menstrual cycle and all that crap, and it's always funny as hell, because it's really funny to sit there not giving a single damn about any of that, and there's all these people having a giggle around you, and it's like, everybody else is in trouble but you. It's great.
I don't think I ever had that class either.
Well, that's interesting.
My mom gave me a book.
Huh. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, we didn't deal with that. We had a great time, like, in year 6, so we're like 10 and 11, and you had to sit through a goddamn video of a woman giving birth. That was a fun experience for 10-year-old me, and it's probably at least part of the reason why my orientation is as it is.
Yeah, no, for year 6, I was being homeschooled by my ultra-religious grandma.
That'd probably explain it. Although, to be fair, also American versus English, so different, school...
yeah, that too.
Things as well.
Well, the year before that, I had gone to a Catholic school.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you were probably fucked anyway, then.
Yeah.
And not in the educational way. Was it a school viewing of Twilight? No, it wasn't. I don't know what it was, but I just remember, like, genuinely, we spent basically a day on, like, this sex education class, and it was genuinely one of the stupidest things that I've ever had the honour of sitting through as a full day of school. Like, honest to God, in there at like 9 in the morning, we left at like 3 in the afternoon, and that was basically the day. Aside from, you know, your break time and your lunchtime, it was literally just like a sex ed lesson. It was so fucking stupid and awful, and it was just like... And everyone comes out of it because, you know, you're like 10, and you know how immature 10-year-olds can be when they're confronted with that sort of thing? So, like, everyone walks out of it giggling and stuff, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Thanks,
like,
Mega Man. Bye for
yeah, see you, Mega Man. Get out while the going's better than me telling shitty school stories. Please get out while you can. But yeah, so that was kind of great. And then, you know, like, that sort of stupid attitude follows you through the entirety of high school, and I'm just sitting here like, I really don't understand you people at all. And then I fucking stumbled across the term asexual and things started making sense again, but that was great. But yeah, so, and then, like I say, like, GCSE biology year, and like I say, this is year 11, so you're all like 16, basically, or like 15, 16, you know, that sort of age. So you're reasonably old, and like, you'd think you'd have grown out of giggling every time your teacher tries to explain sex qualities in, like, the sex organ qualities, because that's, you know, what you have to do in biology class. You learn that sort of thing, because you have to learn about puberty and hormones and stuff, and it's like, you'd think you'd have grown out of laughing at that by now, but, you know, clearly not, because I don't know if it was just my class, because my class was top set, which is a problem, because top set is where you get all of the smart kids and all of the really stupid kids, as it were. Yeah, at this point, yeah, that's the,
In my experience, you don't stop giggling about that until you're somewhere in your mid-20s.
Fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, YouTube description for today: cursed houses, corpses, periods, pregnancies, and Zubats. And shiny latex Zubats.
Latex.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And we're not even, we're only an hour in, we've still got an hour left of topics to cover. God knows what's going to happen in the next hour. But yeah, so it's like, because that's the problem, like, top set is full of, there's two kids in top set, basically, or two, like, types of kids. You've got the kids who are really smart because they work for it, and there's the kids that are really smart because they don't give a fuck. And honest to God, I have never wanted to commit more murders in an afternoon than when I had a goddamn biology class that covered the hormones and the reproductive cycle and all of that shit, when I had to sit on a table with 4 boys who are all in the good at this because they don't give a shit category. Never in my life have I wanted to kill a person more. I had 4 people in that room and all of them were going to die by the end of that afternoon, honest to God. Hated it.
Yeah, that...
Awful. definitely didn't actually, like, genuinely start trying to catalogue what was in the room that I could use to murder them. Like, genuinely not even kidding. I wanted to kill these kids. It didn't help that one of them kept flirting with me, so that was always great. Yeah, it's impressive with my family. Like, you'd think that I'd have a better tolerance for not murdering people, but no. Ran into that. And then, like, literally, you had annoying douchebag who was being annoying more to fit in. Annoying douchebag that obviously didn't get enough attention at home. Annoying douchebag that felt like an ADHD stereotype. And then annoying douchebag that was only annoying when actually prompted into speaking. Well, no, they flirted generally.
Magnemite.
Name for a Magnemite?
Positive.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say screw up because it's funny.
Oh yeah, no, I like yours
Screw
better. Use Pixes.
Yeah, it's screw up. But yeah, no, that's the thing. He wasn't just flirting during that class, it was just kind of generally. But the fact that we sat on the same table for biology meant that I just got more of it in biology. I didn't have to put up with him in like 80% of the other lessons. Because, like, chemistry was on the other side of the room. Screw up, is what I said. But yeah, it's like, chemistry I was on the other side of the room. Physics, we were basically on the other side of the room. Or like, we were a table apart, but there was like 3 or 4 people buffering us, so it didn't work. Although they still threw things at me on occasion, because, you know, fucking high school students and throwing notes across the room is flirting, I guess. But yeah, biology was like the only class where we shared a, where we actually shared a table. So that was the only time I actually had to put up with verbal flirting, pretty much. That and whenever they found me on the schoolyard, which was very rare because I didn't spend time there.
There you go, Carib.
We both did it.
Oh, did we really?
Yeah, because I've got it in my chat as well. Both of us just skipped over there to write down what I said.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, that's kind of how it was. That was always a fun fucking set of school years. But yeah, I was pretty much in that set because I sort of was a bit of... The thing is I was an interesting mix of both sort of classes for school. Like, there were some lessons that I did really well in and didn't really have to try hard in, and there were some lessons where I did really well in only because I didn't stop trying to like do well in them. Like, genuinely, I got pissed off once at my maths teacher because of my my lessons. So it actually happened in year 10, not year 11, and I've been talking about that. But essentially, I was not good at math, and I was not doing great on like the higher papers, because the problem with the papers were the way they were arranged in our country is a lot of your actual hard math is on paper 1, which doesn't allow a calculator, and then a lot of the stuff in paper 2 and paper 3, which does allow a calculator, is like shape and space, and, you know, graphs and things that you can't use a calculator for, because, you know, makes perfect sense to me. So I wasn't very good at math, and I'm not good at shape and space. I have a really big problem with visualizing things like that. I'm just not good at it. It's part of why my art is a bit of a mess sometimes, because I cannot visualize shapes very well a lot of the time. Especially if I, like, actually try and draw it decently. So what ended up happening is I was, like, shit at, like, half of these classes. Oh no.
Is the worst.
Yeah. Pants o'clock is the worst, I say, being the person who gets up, gets dressed in the morning and stays in those sort of outfits until the evening. And, like, evening being when I go to bed. Like, I'm still wearing jeans. It's 8 PM, I'm wearing jeans because I can't be asked to get changed. Also because comfy jumper.
I'm gonna have pants o'clock later because I gotta go do laundry.
Yeah. I've just ended up getting into this situation where it's pants o'clock no matter what. Just because that way at least I know I look half decent if somebody suddenly appears or if I suddenly need to do something.
I mean, this was probably better for your mental health too,
yeah,
honestly.
Probably. This is a habit I got into a little bit before. It's actually my quarantine habit, amusingly enough. This is the habit I picked up for quarantine. But let me finish this math story first, and then we can talk about my fucking inverse depression cycle that I had during quarantine. So I did really bad in that class, and I had... So there's 2 papers in the UK. You have the foundation paper and the higher paper. And the problem with that is that foundation only goes up to a grade C. Higher paper goes up to an A star, so you need less marks to get a C. So they sat me down at one point with my parents to talking about my math grade and the fact that I wasn't doing very well on the higher paper and in set 1, or set 2 I think I was in. And they said to me, would you prefer it if we did the foundation paper? And I looked at them. And genuinely, I looked at them and just went, are you mad? And like everybody kind of stopped and looked at me because it was one of those moments where I could tell if I hadn't spoken up, then Mum would have been like, oh, that's probably a good idea because it's the easier paper. So you know, you might have an easier time passing the class. So genuinely, I looked at that teacher and went, are you crazy? Like actually bonkers. Alright, enjoy food. And the reason for that is because, as I said, so I'm not doing well on the higher paper, right? And the higher paper, though, out of 100 marks, you only need, I don't know, 30 or something for a C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the lowest grade you can get. And a C, in general, is a GCSE pass. It doesn't matter if you're doing foundation or higher, you need a C for passing a GCSE. They don't adjust the grades if you're doing the lower paper. If I was doing foundation, out of those 100 points, I'd need 70. Right. And then I'd need to do that for all 3 papers to get the C grade. So why, if I'm not very good at maths, why would I want to go down a tier to the easier paper that would require that I consistently do better than the harder paper where I could fuck up more and still get a C? Like, why would I want to do that? You actual madwoman. It was so dumb. And it's like I still walked out of that with a C+, so you know. It's not like I fucked up or anything. Like, I'm sure I didn't do great, but I passed.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay. But yeah, that was like one of those moments where genuinely I was like, are you actually crazy? What makes you think that I'm gonna do that? Like, yeah, sure, easier paper, all sounds good on paper. It don't sound so good when you're getting handed your GCSE grades and you got like an E or something because you're still fucked up and couldn't quite reach that grading properly.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's basically just easier questions with less leeway, and it's like, why would I want that? Like, I'll take the harder questions, because at least then I can fuck up quite a bit and still get a decent grade.
Mm-hmm.
My classes were really dumb sometimes, it was great. Honestly though, I had a great time in like 80% of my classes for GCSE. Pretty much all of them except maths and like German, I guess, and also kind of science. I like science as a concept, I don't like science as an actual lesson, is my problem. Like, I like science from the concept of, wow, physics is awesome, or hey, this is a cool biology thing. So it's like the stuff that gets posted in media share generally, that's interesting. Like, I really think that's cool. But I can't read those fucking pages for anything, because I don't know what's going on, and I have no real ability to learn that stuff. Like, I just don't get it very well unless it's broken down really easily for me. So it's just like, doesn't really work. So I just kind of read them and gape a little bit and think, hey, that's cool, and then hope that somebody who knows what's going on there explains it a bit better.
See, I was the nerd-ass kid in high school who asked to do a presentation on string theory.
Oh, that's cool.
And then didn't even ask for extra credit for it. I was just super enthused about string theory and wanted to do a presentation on it because it was so fucking cool.
You just wanted to talk about it.
Yes!
I was never that kid, but that's mostly because, like, I didn't have the attention span to do that. Which is a really interesting thing to say when you consider that I can talk for, like, 45 minutes about Pokemon if I want to. But it's like, I have never had the attention span to actually sit down and talk that long about a class subject. I just can't do it. The longest I've made is I did a 20-minute presentation on my EPQ project for which I wrote a novel, and it's like, yeah, that's because it was writing a novel. Like, that's fucking fun. I did 50,000 words and I did 40k of that in like 2 months. Because I fucked up my own scheduling. I was really good about that one. It was kind of funny actually, because I still have the spreadsheet that kind of shows the so-called time stamping of it, and it's like the first couple, it takes like 3 weeks to get through a chapter, and then you get to about September or like October time, and you start seeing finish chapters 19 and 20, and it's like, oops, somebody clearly fucked up their scheduling, or I don't think I actually went that high, did I? But it was like, you'd see like, finish chapter 1, and it took like 4 weeks. It's like, finish chapter 2, and it took like nearly 6. And then you got to like September, and it's like, finish chapter 3 next week, finish chapter 4 next week, finish chapter 5 And then a couple weeks later, I've got finished chapter 7 and 8. And I'm pretty sure one of the weeks I wrote 3 chapters in a week. And I wrote that down on my sheet. And it was kind of like, yeah, you can see the point where I suddenly realised that I had a lot less time to finish this than I thought I did. Because that was the point where any time that I was on my Chromebook in class, like I was supposed to be doing coursework for history and for English, I stopped doing my coursework, started writing my EPQ. Anytime I had a free period, I was writing my EPQ. On my lunch door duty, I'd either be sharing the computer with my friend and we were watching videos, or if I was alone for whatever reason, I was writing my EPQ. It's like, yeah, you can tell the point where I suddenly had the dramatic realisation that I needed to get a move on.
Poor Shard.
Yeah, poor Shard. I mean, it makes sense that I keep seeing Zubats because they're an 85, but Kali's luck with the Slowpokes is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, my Slowpoke encounter rate is way more than 15%, it feels like.
Yeah. That's just how it works.
Either that, or it's just like, I run into... Okay, that's like 3 Slowpokes in a row.
Yeah. It's either that, or you're just running into more Zubats than Slowpokes, but you're not registering the Zubats. Yeah, no, You're definitely getting a lot more Slowpokes, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of looking... Oh god, not the hiccups. I'm kind of looking at your screen as well, and it's like,
Yeah, that's true, Shard.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, in my case at least, if I get Zubat, I don't particularly care because I can still use Zubat. It just means like a bit of rejiggering for team things, and I can still hunt. I don't know if I'd hunt a Slowpoke for my 3rd thing if I got Zubat in this case though, because now I don't need a Psychic type because I've remembered that Lugia's existing in this hunt. Because I occasionally forget that Lugia's Psychic.
I don't... excuse me.
Yeah, it's early for you, but it's a yawn day.
I don't particularly care which one I get, because whichever one I get, I'm still probably going to continue hunting the other one.
Yeah, because that gives you an instant Gym 3 as well.
And then I can do Gym 3 and then just spend ages egg hunting for a Mareep.
Yep. But yeah, it's kind of like the opposite for me, because my situation is, if I get a Zubat, that's fine. Then I just find something else to hunt for Gym 3, whatever that ends up being. And then, because Lugia can take my Psychic type, I can use Chinchou for the Water type if I don't get Raikou. If I do get Raikou, I can use maybe Suicune for my Water type, because I can hunt that. So I've got like some backup plans, and it's literally just I need to find a thing for my 3rd gym, and then I can figure it out from there. But if I get Slowpoke, I still need to find something for the 3rd gym, but it will likely just be do Zubat. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the quarantine thing. Yeah, so an interesting thing with me is that I'm god-awful at taking care of myself most of the time. It's like, my mum probably had reason to worry when I went away to uni. It's like, I can take care of myself, I just tend not to. So what would end up happening is, like, it was consistently referred to as the post-Christmas depression, because this was the point where it was mostly happening. But, like, you know that week between Christmas and New Year where dates don't have any meaning, time kind of just slips into the abyss, and I forgot what day it is, I forgot the last time I changed out of this friggin' t-shirt. Like, that sort of period. Yeah, so that was, pretty much, like, that entire week was a no-go for me a lot of the time, like, because I didn't go outside very much because I don't really have friends to go meet up with. Even before the quarantine thing, I didn't really have friends that I'd go meet up with. Obviously, it's not very sunny outside, like, 80% of the time, so it's mostly dark, and I'm tired, and it's just awful. And it was just a mess. So everything was just kind of atrocious. And that would be what I like to call the post-Christmas depression. Obviously, that would show up on occasions on other times, but usually, more often than not, like, my school holidays were short enough that I didn't have that problem, and I had something to keep track of the time on a bit better. So it was either, like, the week-long half-terms, or Easter holidays where I have Easter in, like, the middle. So there was, like, something, like, the homework leading up, the Easter bit, and then there was kind of the homework leading out bit. So it wasn't... now, that's what that period... Yeah, that is kind of what this period is. But yeah, so... that was kind of my situation. And then obviously summer wasn't a problem because it was kind of mostly shiny and, like, sunny outside, and then I get dragged out to do things sometimes by my parents. So, you know, I didn't have that much of a problem. But it was primarily Christmas. And then quarantine happened. Back last year. And Jesus Christ, that was terrifying. Because, I pretty much went from having a decent routine with school to post-Christmas depression. Because I had no real schoolwork to do. we didn't know what was going on with like the A-levels, so I was like half-heartedly studying to try and make sure I'd be ready for that, but I was pretty sure I wouldn't have to sit the exams, so I wasn't really bothered. I mucked about, finished up some of the coursework bits like right at the end and sent that, but I basically didn't do anything. So instead of like lolling about in my pajamas all day and basically just letting myself get into that slump, I just made it a routine that's like before I was allowed to do anything on a morning, like I didn't even set up my computer until I'd gotten up and like gotten dressed and stuff. So I pretty much forced myself into taking care of myself. You have a star, you
that's
have
amazing.
Excellent.
But
That's all
yeah,
good.
forcing
Oh,
yourself
shit, there
into
goes my
taking
phone.
care of yourself is valid.
My phone just fell off my fucking lap onto the floor and might have landed straight down on the charger cable. Yeah, so the charger cable landed on the floor and it bounced. So that's definitely not a possible bad sign. But no, it's fine. But yeah, I basically brute forced my way into taking care of myself by not letting... Basically, I wouldn't let myself get up to get breakfast before I'd gotten up and gotten dressed. So I now have the morning routine of I'll get up, I'll pick up my phone and like check for updates, and I'll do a couple of like my little mobile game daily things before I get up. And I'll normally read through the Discord scroll at that point. I don't know why I'm still answering these phone calls aside from the possibility of battles. But I don't think any of these fucking people actually do battles. Or if they do, they ain't doing it to me. So yeah, like I'd do the Discord like read through, and then I'd get up, I'd get dressed, I'd go downstairs and get whatever food I was getting. I'd come back upstairs and I'd set my computer up and obviously eat while that's all getting set up, and then basically I brute force myself into actually paying attention to my health for a bit. And then we also have like an exercise machine downstairs, so I'd usually use that, because obviously it's decent physio for my back. And it was all just kind of like working, and it was working pretty well. And then like in July or whatever, I picked up Duolingo and started learning Swedish. Yeah, that was about July. Jesus Christ, that's nearly been a year. That's a bit terrifying. And then, like, yeah, it kept going. And then I moved to uni, and I was actually in the sort of position where I genuinely did at least somewhat trust myself to actually remember that, like, I had to get up and do things. So I had alarms set to make sure that I actually got up in the mornings on time. I still didn't let myself go and... Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so I get most of that, but the last word I don't know, and I think that's throwing off my sentence structuring, because the verbs always go, like, mostly at the beginning of the sentence, so I'm not sure what the last bit means. But I'm going to assume you're asking how my Swedish is going, basically. From what I understand of that sentence, you're asking how I'm doing with my Swedish. And it's going reasonably well, actually, which is kind of great. I've moved on to... I'm nearly at the end of, like, the second stage, so, like, there's checkpoints. I'm nearly up to checkpoint 2. Except the time lesson takes 8 fucking lessons, so I've got a lot of things to remember there. But yeah, it's going well, and it's kind of great. Oh, by the way, okay, thank you. That is another thing to add to my list. But yeah, it's...
Oh, speaking of Swedish.
Yeah?
I have decided in the D&D game that we're all gonna do together,
oh yeah,
Swedish
Gnomish.
is apparently Gnomish.
Yeah, I remember you said that, I think, because I remember going really... Because you said something about, like... it was some, like... kind of odd other language for Elvish, I think you said as well, which made me start laughing because obviously, like, well, you know, you probably know why I started laughing with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
What
okay.
did I say was gonna be for Elvish?
I don't remember, but it was something like, hey, it's Laplas. I'm trying to think now. It was something. I almost want to say it was something like Middle Eastern almost.
Oh fuck! What was it?
Yeah, but I can't remember. I just remember it was a kind of odd language.
No, and it wasn't Elvish. It was Draconic.
Oh, was it Draconic? Okay.
It's Lithuanian.
Oh yeah, that was
I
it.
think.
You said it was something like that, yeah. But yeah, I just remember laughing at that because it's like, of course.
What? Swedish is a perfectly good
No, Swedish is a perfectly good language for gnomes. It really does fit. It was just me laughing because obviously Annabelle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no.
that was why I started laughing a bit, so obviously with Annabelle's backstory.
Mhm.
Although I still need to sit my ass down and write that, because I've got a couple of other ideas that need to go out of my head. But yeah, how you doing, Laplas? We've just been talking about how I brute forced my way out of seasonal depression through quarantine, when most people seem to have fallen into one. I managed to brute force my way out of one, which is pretty good for me.
Why am I being ellipses to at, Kara?
Oh, D&D secrets on stream, probably.
Annabelle's existence is not a D&D secret.
Yeah, Annabelle's existence isn't a secret, and Kali knows enough about what I'm saying to pick up what I'm laying down when I talk about her without needing to spell it out. And if I do need to spell it out, well, we have Discord open.
Yeah. Nordic languages are perfect for gnomes.
Yeah, they kind of are, it's great.
And I really don't think that Scottish is good for dwarves, honestly.
Yeah.
We will kill the Scottish dwarf stereotype.
Yeah, especially because Scottish is a bit fucky anyway, because it depends on what sort you're using.
She doesn't know Gnomish.
Yeah, she doesn't know Gnomish, but
Gnomish.
Pix knows Swedish, which is the same thing in the game. So Pix can perfectly legitimately listen to something going on in Gnomish and tell it. Annabelle necessarily can't. Yep.
Unless Pix decides that Annabelle knows Gnomish for some reason.
Yeah. I mean... That was a very interesting shrug noise, wasn't it? That was a really interesting
one. Actually, Pix, there is that thing.
Yeah, there is that thing, so, you know.
She might.
Yeah. Yeah, seasonal depression's awful. Like I say, I only have, like, the Christmas depression, but I've actually been really good this year, and I think it is partly because I got into that quarantine habit of forcing my dumb ass out of bed on threat of you don't get your breakfast until you've actually got off your ass and dealt with something. And plus it does help that I will tend to eat while I'm doing the duo lessons. So like just this morning I had like 2 chocolate waffles and I have these little cookie bar things that Mum picked up for me to test out. They're not that bad actually. So yeah, I got all that like set up, came upstairs, sat my ass down with my book, my phone, my headset and my waffles and did my Swedish lesson. And that was just what my morning was. And I'll do the damn same thing tomorrow and I will keep doing that. Yeah, the sun is, like, it's weird of me to say that I miss the sun when you consider that I don't go outside very much. But, like, yeah, I miss the sun as well, just because I miss being able to actually, like, know what time it is based on sunset. Whereas the sunset being at, like, 5 PM and I suddenly forget what's going on. Like, it's got to the point, actually, where I get really miserable with, when I don't have Flux on now, because I pretty much use Flux as my sunset timekeep instead. Because the more shit my screen looks, the later it is. Because it gets to, like... As it goes on, it gets more and more of a washed out yellow colour, so the shittier it looks, like, that's the point where you need to start going to bed. But when I stream, I don't have it on, because that's a chance to fuck up the shiny colours, and if I miss the sparkle effect, then I'm screwed if the shiny colours are messed up from the Flux thing. So obviously, it's a bit of a problem. But yeah, so... Yeah, it's kind of hilarious, I think, that, like... Literally, I got into that routine because I just didn't feel like being a depressed misery blob up until whenever the hell quarantine ended, basically. That was the only situation I was in. I got into that routine because of that. And then I promptly got to uni, and I was like, well, considering that I managed to brute force my way out of, like, what could have been a really bad depressive spiral, all things considered, I think I can probably handle taking care of myself at uni. And I did, up until, you know, the point where I came home and then promptly got stuck at home for 3 months. You know, I was originally supposed to go back this weekend. Like, today probably, like, either today or tomorrow would have been my moving in day. Like, we would have been going back and setting everything up back in the rooms. But since we're not actually back in class until the week after reading week, I'm moving back at the end of reading week instead. Which technically is a good thing, because it means that I've got decent stream time for reading week. Which is going to be nice, so... Yeah, win some, lose some. But it's like, yeah, who'd have thought that just basically me being pissed off at myself enough to want to brute force my way out of what could have been a really miserable, like, 6 months would have meant that I actually had some decent confidence in taking care of myself at uni. Well, the thing is I don't necessarily miss being physically at uni. I liked it, but I'm just as happy doing my work at home, and that's the really interesting thing that I've had. I need to stop walking out of this fucking door. I've had some conversations with my classmates about it, and like they'll complain like a lot. Like, I miss being physically at uni because it's so like I can't focus on my work. It's like, yeah, sure, I've got a paper due, but even if I wasn't at home, I probably wouldn't be writing it until this week because like it's due in like 2 weeks. I probably wouldn't have started writing it until this week, whether I was here or at the uni across the country. So, because literally, it's funny because I've had 2 different conversations with 2 different people. About completely opposing views. It's either too quiet in the house and they can't get any work done, or it's too loud in the house and they can't get any work done. And it's really weird because I haven't had that problem. During the day, most of the time, like either my parents are at work and my brother is here, or my mum is not at work and my brother is here. Either way, My mum tends to leave me alone until, like, if she brings up food, pretty much, and that's the interaction that she has until she knows that I'm out of class for the day. More often than not, I'm the one going to talk to her, more than her coming in to talk to me. And my brother, when he's in class, is dead silent. Pretty much. Like, it's not until he gets on the PlayStation at the end of the day that he starts talking and making a noise. And that's only a problem on Thursday when I have 4 till 6 classes. So it's a right pain in the backside then, but no other time. So it's just kind of like a big shrug in the case of it being too loud. And then, in my case at least, when it's never too quiet for my work, I don't struggle with it being too quiet. So it's kind of awkward to explain, because with my actual online lessons, we do them via a video. So no matter what, there's a video. Either we're physically... Yeah, fair enough, cats are a problem, and I have to... Like, I pause and take my dog out all the damn time when I have to. This last week, she's been a bit ill and needed the bathroom more often, but I literally just tell my teacher, like, hey, I'm gonna dip to go take care of the dog, I'll be right back. And when I come back, I just literally just go, yeah, so did I miss anything particularly important? And somebody in chat will summarise it for me. Or, like, the teacher herself will just quickly blast over it. Or I'll ask in the Discord that we have, and it's just, yeah, this is a quick summary of the couple minutes that you missed. It's not too bad. So, like, in terms of being too loud, I just close my door, and it's fine. In terms of it being too quiet, I'm either listening to an actual live video, like, live class on the video thing, and then I can just use the chat. Or, like, any of the asynchronous online work, it's set via what's known as what's called a panopto. So it's literally the teacher talks us through the PowerPoint as though they were physically talking to the class. You just can't ask any questions. You just send an email for them if you need questions answering, but otherwise that's it. It's just like watching a YouTube video, essentially. You just pause it to take notes. So I don't have a problem with that being too quiet. And like, so I have an optional course as well, which that one requires going back to August, where my parents decided that the best thing to get a girl for her 18th birthday was going to be a proofreading course. Which, that's a fun story. Basically, it was on sale, so instead of being like over 100 quid, it was like 30. So they were like, hey, how would you like this proofreading course? Because, you know, that'll be good for your writing. Because, you know, you can proofread your own writing perfectly fine, can't you? That's another rant for another day. So I started that and then stopped it because I was at uni, and I've picked that back up again recently because I only got a little bit of it left, so I was like, I might as well get this finished, just, you know, to finish it. And whenever I'm doing that, literally all I do is I set Discord to do not disturb, find a white noise generator on YouTube and play it, and that's all the background noise that I need, because as long as I've got something in the background, I can focus perfectly fine. So I just set up the white noise generator until I finish with the module that I'm working on, close out of everything, and then go back to YouTube and whatever else I'm doing. The only problem with that strategy is the fact that once I turn the white noise generator off, everything goes a bit crazy in my head for a little while because I suddenly remember that there are other sounds than radio static. I've only given myself a headache from it twice. Accidental sensory overload, apparently. Which is really weird when you consider that taking off the headset and turning off the music, it's actually quieter than the white noise generator is. Like, that thing's on quite loud because I'm blocking out pretty much everything I can with it, but I turned that off and apparently the quiet gave me a sensory overload that one time, which was a really interesting experience. I never want it to happen again.
Pat's picks.
Yeah, so sometimes I leave Discord off of Do Not Disturb mode because the pings give me just enough of a different background sound that I don't go completely bonkers when I turn the generator off. Either that or I very slowly decrease the volume on the YouTube video. So like I use the arrow keys to kind of bring it down a little bit and then get it to 0 eventually, and then pause the video, turn it back up to 100 and close the tab.
Yeah, that works.
I have coping mechanisms now. It's weird.
Isn't it though?
Mm-hmm.
But they work.
Yeah. Anyway, see you, Lapras. Yeah, I hope you're doing. I hope you do well. I hope things go well. And yeah, just as a heads up, Amber is doing very much better now, which is good. She went to the vets the other day. She didn't have a good time with that, but she's better now.
Good.
Yeah, basically she was just having like some sort of problem internally. We're not sure what was really going on, but she needed the bathroom a lot, so we think she was trying to flush something out. So, you know, we took her to the vets to have that done professionally instead of her just constantly going outside to the loo. And that was a fun experience because my dog has separation anxiety. She doesn't like being away from her people. And it's not even like a she needs everyone around at all times thing, but if there's even one of, like, if there's one of us, she's fine. But when she's left on her own, she tends to get a bit grumbly. And more specifically, it's when she's left on her own, because we need to take her to, like, a vet or something. Or, like, we need to take her out to the park. So we take her to the park, and if we try and get her to sit and stay, she hates it. Like, sit and stay, she'll sort of, like, sit there for a bit, and then she'll start slowly trying to sneak after you, because she doesn't want to be far away. It's really cute, but also...
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's really cute, but it's not great when you're trying to train your dog to stay. It doesn't work. We can't do it even now. But yeah, so we took her to the vets on Thursday. I say we, my dad did, because the vet appointment was like halfway through my class. So I was like, well, I ain't gonna be able to handle that one, so I'm not coming with. So they took her up the vets. And obviously, there's a lockdown, so you can't go in the vets, like, physically. So he hands over the lead to the vet, and he's staying at the door. And they basically had to, like, kind of pull her over to, like, they had to pull and herd her over to the scales, to put her on the scales. Because she did not want to go. And once they got her on the scales, they basically just had to keep feeding her treats to keep her on the scales. Like, she must have put on about 10 pounds just sitting there, because they had to keep feeding her to keep her attention on them and not trying to get to dad. And literally, the second that they were done with the scales, she bolted for my dad, and, like, the vet that was holding her lead nearly got pulled over because she just darted for him.
That's
and I'm just like, yep, that's my dog, alright, that's my girl. That's what she does.
Yeah, we took Mickey to the vet to get his shots done, or the last set of his shots done a few days ago. And they have it so you can't even go in the building. Yeah, my dad couldn't either, he had to wait at the door. No, like, they have you go and wait in your car. Oh, okay, that's a bit different. Yeah, like they pick up, they say bring the dog to the door, you bring the dog to the door, you hand it off to the vet's assistant, and then they say, okay, and I will call you when we're done. Go ahead and go wait in your car. Yeah. Maybe they would have done that with my dad, but my dad doesn't have a car, so he walked the dog up there, so... Yeah. He just kind of stood about instead, but yeah. And it's great, too, because he always looks at me so betrayed when I hand him over. Like, why? Like, why, mother? Why have you betrayed me? What are you doing? I don't like these people, they poke me. I like how my dogs for this, my notes for this contains dog twice. Like, I just realised that my notes, yeah. My notes, dogs, bondage Zubat, Callie's Cursed House Part 2, school PTSD, dogs. Those are my notes. Those are my stream notes for the day. Callie's Cursed House Part 2. Well, yeah, because Part 1 was in the end of last stream, when we ended it off on the note of your cursed ass house and promising more stories. That's true. Oh, so, did I tell you about the little haunted girl, or the little girl ghost that lived in my ceiling? Oh, fuck me, your house literally is cursed. No, you didn't. Oh, God. Yeah, so there was this little girl ghost who lived in my ceiling, and every so often she would just, like, stare at me while I'm trying to sleep and scream. What the fuck? I forgot about that, sorry. I wish you had, like, just continued to forget about it, if I'm honest with you. I'd rather not have heard that. Yeah, there was a bondage Zubat. Yeah, don't ask any context about that one, because I'm not giving it, and I don't think you need it, to be honest. That kind of just gives it. I went to go write something down, I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, seasonal depression. Child? Seasonal depression. Oh yeah, seasonal depression. What the fuck has this episode been? Poor Shard. Yeah, poor Shard. Although to be fair, this is kind of what you signed up for when you walked into us doing shiny hunting, to be honest. Like, at this point, if you walked into shiny hunting expecting a normal and healthy conversation, I don't know why you're here at this point. Like, you don't get that. You get weird bullshit instead. Mm-hmm. Oh, and before anyone suggests it, no, it was not sleep paralysis. I can move perfectly well. And trust me, burying your head under the pillows while you've got a ghost screaming at you does not actually block the ghost out. Excellent. Good information. Glad to know it. Wish I didn't, honestly. Really wish I didn't. Your tone of voice says stop talking or I will reach through the internet and smack you.
That tone of voice is I'm laughing really hard, but trying not to actually start laughing. That's what I don't know. Like, I've got the sort of, like, really big awkward grin from when you're laughing, but you're trying to speak, so you just start smirking like a loon instead.
Oh yeah, me too.
So, like, you know when you grin too widely and then you try and talk? That's the tone of voice that I'm currently using. Because I'm just dead.
Your face starts hurting and
yeah,
you start getting
I haven't stopped smiling in the last hour and a half. It's great.
Excellent. It's like 100% perfect.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's just the situation you want to be in when you're doing these streams, is I haven't stopped giggling for the last hour and a half.
Exactly.
I hope that we managed to achieve that goal for everybody. That in some way you have been entertained. Whether it's just from sympathetic giggling because I can't stop, or actual genuine amusement because of everything else.
Wait, I died and helicopter evolved, huh?
Excellent.
Yay!
Also, overgrowth is pretty good. Overgrow, rather. I think. I'm having a moment now of, wait, is that the one I think it is? Yes, it is. I'm good at this.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy these
I'm about to say, I'm
Shard.
glad that these are an enjoyable 4 hours a week of us just doing stupid shit while shiny hunting.
Dude, I'm gonna run out of curse shit to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna run out of conversation topics at some point. It's gonna be a problem. Like, we're eventually gonna get to the point where we genuinely run out of topics that aren't just life stories.
I mean, we could always come up with more creepypasta.
Yeah, we could write fan fiction together.
Didn't we
Twitch stream.
do that in like stream 1?
Well,
where we came
yeah,
up
we did
with
come up with the Cyndaquil. I need to write that. Honest to God, I need to write it. The Cyndaquil and the Flabébé.
Yeah, the Cyndaquil and the Flabébé.
They have fucking
God,
pollen
those are
allergies.
cute.
They're so cute. I need to write those at some point. It's probably a 2-parter, although it's a 1-parter but like 2 parts.
Yeah.
Probably more like 2 scenes, really.
Okay,
than,
look, that was one time, it was an accident and my eyes blurred. I'm sorry.
Oh god, this is the sort of time where I wish I was a much bigger streamer and got fan art of bullshit, because that's the sort of like sentence that would have absolutely gotten so much.
Bondage Zubat, Jesus Christ.
It's not even like it'd be hard though. That's the best part. Like I could do it right now. Set up bloody paint, get a picture of a Zubat from Google, and get some JPEG bondage gear and slap it over the top. It wouldn't be difficult. So you know.
Oh god, you're right. It wouldn't be difficult. But fuck me, we do not need bondage Zubat ×2.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow and see what's in the media share, and you're gonna hate me.
Oh fuck my life.
Thursday's gonna be cancelled for the rest of the day.
You know what? Pix, fucking do it. I'll pay you.
No! Stop trying to find excuses to give me money. You don't need to do that. That would be so low effort. Oh my god.
I might have said that because I knew you'd say no.
I know. That's the worst part, is like I knew that by objecting I was giving exactly what you wanted out of this situation, which was for me not to fucking do that, but you know.
I win.
Yeah, you do win, but I also win because you're not fucking wasting money on my bullshit. And seriously, look me in the eyes and tell me that that dragon isn't bullshit. It's cute, yes, but it's also me being on my shit.
It's adorable, and it's what I wanted.
I mean, fair enough, but it is also me being back on my bullshit. That was a quick encounter cycle. I like those. Can we have some more of those?
Okay, but consider, you being back on your bullshit is amazing.
My bullshit is pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah,
especially
to be fair,
considering
your bullshit is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, my
so...
bullshit leads to 2 things. Fan fiction and, stupid artwork. Oh, and these streams, I suppose. It leads to that as well.
Well, I mean, these streams are more like our bullshit at this point.
Yeah. Sponsored by the both of us losing our minds.
Yep. Oh! Did I ever tell you about the house that I lived in that had fleas in the front yard?
No, you didn't. Please go ahead. Because at this point,
Okay.
I'm just interested in hearing about this shit, honestly.
Okay, so when I was about 7 to 8, like 6 through 8 or something, I lived in a house where there were fleas that lived in the front yard. You would think this is impossible because fleas, like, you know, eat blood to survive, and front yards are notoriously lacking in blood. But no, you could take a 30-second walk through the front lawn to get from the sidewalk to the front door of the house. And when you got inside the house, my mom would practically strip search you looking for fleas and would find at least 12.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like the
so
specific of that as well, by the way. At least 12.
Huh?
I like how specific that is.
Well, okay, so I might be exaggerating with the number of fleas, but there was a lot.
No, honestly, I'd believe that. That's the thing. It's just it was a really specific number. Like, it wasn't, like, at least, like, 10, because that's, like, a roundabout. It was 12, specifically.
It was the first number that popped into my head.
That's fair. It just amused
hey,
me.
Hex!
Hey, it's Hex. Hello.
It's Hex.
Welcome to the two of us being back on our bullshit.
So this is actually, Hexagold, this is an entirely different house than the first cursed house I was talking about.
Yeah, this is the second cursed house. Or possibly this is the prior one. Was this one
is
before
the house
or
that
after?
was before the house that we moved into.
So this is the first cursed house, and then the other one is the second one. With the
Yes.
fucking scrapyard in the back garden, the void to nowhere in the old fucking closet, the ghost girl. What the fuck?
Yeah, the body pit in the basement.
Oh yeah, the body pit in the basement, of course. Can't forget about that. What the fuck? Yeah, at this point, I'm pretty sure your family's cursed. It would at least explain where Pokemon Y came from.
You know, you're not necessarily wrong, and I'm willing to accept that as an explanation. But it's more fun to think of them as cursed houses, because this one was exactly 1 block away from the railroad tracks.
Oh, really nice. Excellent.
Yeah. And we're pretty sure that the fleas lived in the yard because there was 4 pit bulls next door. And so they lived off of the pit bulls, but also just kind of like in the yard.
Yeah, that
so
would
they went
certainly
and ate
explain
the
it.
pit bulls and then lived in the yard.
Yeah, that would explain it.
But Mom straight up refused, because we actually got 2 kittens from, like, when we bought that house that had the kittens in the vents, we actually took 2 of their kittens too.
Jesus. What the hell? Your life sounds, like, ridiculously interesting. Like, I try and talk about this house, I can't. Because this house, I have lived in it all my life, I've never moved, and there's never been anything weird about it. Like, the most interesting thing about my house is that it used to be a shop with a flat on top of it, which is why it's laid out like it is. Good evening, Mr. Motorcycle. Go fuck yourself, please. That's possibly...
Yes, vent kittens.
Yeah, vent kittens. But yeah, like, the most interesting thing about this is it's a house that used to be a shop. So, the ground floor was the shop. And then above that is the apartments, and then there's the loft. So nowadays, like, our like front room, because the way it's laid out is like, so you got entrance hall, and you go in through the hall, and the stairs are on the right as you come in through the door, and then you get to the end of the corridor, and on your left is the door into the dining room, which you go into the dining room and a bit around for the kitchen, and then the door to the living room. So the living room used to be a shop front, which is why we've got massive fucking windows in the living room and in my room, because my room is the room right above. So that used to be a shop front, and then obviously back behind that was whatever the fuck was in there. Because I don't even know what the shop sold, I just know that this used to be a shop at one point before it. Hey, welcome back, and Greek food is good. So that's literally like the only information I have about this house, pretty much, is that it used to be a shop. I don't know what it sold, I don't know what any of the rooms were used for, but it was a shop. So that's the most interesting thing about it, really. Oh, and we occasionally get wasps in the loft, and we don't really know why, but they apparently like it up there. They think it's a good hideout for the winter. That's about the most interesting thing.
Alright, I've been thinking, and I think you're right in that it's my family that's cursed, because I was just remembering stuff about my grandparents' farm that they built.
Oh boy.
That I lived in for a while when I was very little. Yeah, I think you're right that it was us that's cursed.
Oh boy, I almost want to ask. Only almost.
Or should I just tell you whether you ask or not?
Oh, go ahead at this point. We might as well.
Also, welcome back, Fussy, with your Greek.
Welcome back to the episode dedicated to houses.
This was a house on 36 acres. Hex will ask. Okay, so this house was on 36 acres of land. Most of it was forested. but there was the house, a barn, a big-ass field that had grapevines along one side, and then sometimes flowers and stuff in the main part. It had a spring that would turn into a pond sometimes, so you could go canoeing on it.
Oh no, missing sandwiches. That's a problem.
Oh no! It had 2 floors, an attic, and a basement, so... But because we lived there when I was, like, 4 and 5, I wasn't allowed in the basement. So, as far as I know, that was a portal into essentially Helheim.
Yeah, seems legit. Given, you know, everything else.
But no, the weirdest thing about this place was, that whenever I was out playing, at least twice, whenever I was out playing, if there was no one else around, I would hear people calling my name.
Excellent.
And whenever I would run up to the house and be like, yeah, what did you want? You were screaming for me, what did you need? My grandma or my mom or my grandpa would say that they weren't calling me. Nobody was ever calling me.
Excellent. Who doesn't love that? Honestly, that's always my favourite part, is when the ghosts know your name. And that's why I love having a really odd name, it's because the ghosts don't usually know who the fuck I am. Woo, for having
Or,
technically foreign names.
Or like, so, I mentioned the pond, the spring-fed pond. Well, when it rained, it would flood across the driveway, and the driveway was like couple hundred feet long.
Yeah.
And so I would get dropped off from school by a school bus, and usually if it was nice out, my mom would be waiting for me at the end of the driveway, and we'd walk up, or if it was bad out, she'd be waiting at the end of the driveway in the car, and she'd drive me up. Well, this time, she got stuck in traffic, like really, really bad traffic. It was pissing down rain.
Oh boy.
And so I waited in the pissing down rain for her for 10 minutes, and she didn't show up. So I started walking up the driveway, and I ended up trying to jump across the little stream that would form whenever the pond flooded across the driveway. Ended up landing square in it. I finally get up to the house. I am soaked to the skin, bawling. I knock on the door. My grandma opens the door, swears, shuts the door on me, runs over, grabs a towel, comes back, opens the door, puts me in the towel, and brings me in. Like, swearing in Polish this whole time.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty fun one.
Yeah. And she thinks I didn't know she was swearing.
That's always the best part.
Yeah.
But yeah, because my name is kind of odd, at least for my country, it's kind of strange. I don't know that many people that have my name or a similar name to it, or like any of... Well, I know I know plenty of people with things that can technically be called derivatives of the name, but I don't know that many people that have either my name or the full like origin of my name. So I don't usually get the strange, slightly hallucination feeling of people calling my name. Usually it is somebody shouting for me, but it does happen on occasion, and it's usually only when I've got my headset on, so... But yeah, I don't usually have it happen when I'm outside, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, right, that's where I was actually going with this. But no, you remember how the backyard of that one house was a junkyard?
Okay.
Yeah, that was the barn.
Oh.
There was literally, like, an engine up on hooks. And this car half taken apart, and... Yeah. It was my grandpa's project shed, essentially. But I don't think I ever saw him working in there.
Yeah, but what I was about to say was I don't know anyone who really... I know a lot of people have something that is like a derivation of my name, but it's not necessarily my name that those names come from. Because those names are short for a lot of names, so I wouldn't want to just say like they're derivatives of my name, because they're derivatives of a lot of names, so I sort of changed my sentence halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the real thing for that is that I don't actually know people with names. We just refer to each other by serial numbers. That's how this country works.
The interesting thing is your name is actually the name that I picked out years ago, that if I ever had a daughter, I was gonna name her.
Okay, that's incredible, first of all, and second of all, means that as sarcastic jokes about the Pix Adoption Squad is kind of even more hilarious at this point. Like, that just continues to just get funnier and funnier the more random things happen in my life. But yeah, my name is fun.
Thanks, Hex.
But yeah, my name is not a very English name, so... Which is always hilarious when your younger brother does have a very English name. So, you know, it's like... Fun does sound like a good name. Yeah. But yeah, I have the name that never gets found on gift shops in this country. Also, shout out to encounter number 666 for not giving me a shiny.
Rude.
I know, right? It's gonna happen one of these days. One of these days, 666 is gonna be my shiny encounter number, and God knows what's gonna happen with that Pokemon.
You're gonna name it the Beast, obviously,
yeah,
because
obviously.
that was the number of the Beast.
Yep. But yeah,
you have to name it the Beast.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, so I have the name that never gets found on anything in gift shops unless you get it, like, custom done. And then I've got my brother, who literally could walk into a gift shop and have his pick of anything he wants. Like, I have a keychain somewhere in the basket behind me. It's a holographic keychain with my name on it, and we had to have it custom done because we couldn't find one.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, my mum occasionally has the same problem because she has a name where her full name is on gift things everywhere, but the name that she prefers to be by never seems to show up. So it's like, oh, okay then.
Yeah, my name is in any gift shop, but it's never spelled my way.
Which I think is almost worse. It's like,
it drives me insane.
It's like, it's right there, but it's wrong, whereas I just can't find that shit. I mean, the thing is, though, I'd have that same problem if I went, like, anywhere in Europe that... Well, actually, no, to be fair, I've been to Germany twice, right? So, my name is sort of that sort of area, like, there, Poland, that sort of area. Like, that's kind of where a lot of my name comes from. I think Sweden has a fair number of people with my name as well. Or, like, it's that sort of... It's mostly more, like, Europe than England. Like, mainland Europe than England, I should say. So I have been to Germany, and I've looked in gift shops, and I'm pretty sure that I did actually, when I was there, find things with my name on them. And, just like your situation, spelt wrong. Because the letter J sounds like a Y in those countries, in the way it's pronounced a lot of the time. So, guess who ends up with their name spelt almost perfectly, but with a one-letter substitution because of J's and Y's.
Ugh.
So yeah, they spell it differently, and it's like... It's almost perfect. Theoretically, I could fix it with a marker pen, because it's not that difficult to turn a J into a Y. But, like, you know.
But, yeah, but that's not the point.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You're getting this thing, it's because you want it to be...
Yeah. Yeah, as Shard said, you guys spell it differently. But yeah. That is how it works, and it's great. I'm gonna take another trip to the mainland Europe one day. I'm gonna genuinely do that. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna have to see if I can find a friggin' thing with my name on it that is actually spelt right. Either that, or I'm gonna make a running log of every single time I find something with my name on but spelt wrong. And I'm just gonna have a running log of this entire holiday in Europe that is just gonna be, I found a mug with my name on it, spelt wrong though. Hey look, shot glasses. Guess what? Not spelt right. I have a collection of shot glasses downstairs, actually, that are from that trip to Germany, and they've all got flags on it and stuff. They're genuinely one of my favourite things. We don't use them, they just kind of sit in the cupboard. They're those sort of shot glasses, but they're great.
Right.
Because they have, like, cities and stuff on them, and then a couple of, like, flags and things, and it's adorable. Oh, actually, so fun story. This refers to Kali's cup dragon. So,
Oh yeah.
I was telling my mum about this, just because she asked like what we were talking about while we were in that call. So I did tell my mum about the dragon thing that I was doing, and yeah, I got no support from that quarter on what was going on with that. Yeah, I didn't get any from my dad either. I haven't even tried my brother, but I don't think I'm getting anything there either. But
Good.
so yeah, I mentioned that it was like a dragon, and I mentioned like what the plan was, and she said, "Well, don't you have those dragons downstairs? Couldn't you use one of those?" Because yeah, we have 2 model dragons, like dragon statues downstairs from that second trip to Germany where it was me and my brother that went. There was a castle that we visited that was selling a bunch of cool stuff, and one of the things we got was a pair of dragon statues. His is like a standing one, and mine is this really decorative one, where it's the dragon sitting at the top of a tower with like a crystal in the tower, and the dragon's draped over it, and like the tail runs down, and it's so pretty. Like, it's
That sounds
wonderful.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'll have to take a picture of it at some point and send it to like the Discord or something, or to you, because it's really pretty. And like, yeah, my mum said, why don't you use
100%.
that as your reference? And I'm like, well, I'm not using it as my reference because I've already drawn it at this point. But like, it probably would have worked really well for the cup dragon, actually, because it's really pretty. I'll have to. They're sitting at the top of one of the bookshelves, I think, so I'll have to go climb on a chair to grab them because it's a tall shelf. Yeah, it's so pretty. I love it. It is like so, because like genuinely, I went to that tower twice, the castle twice. It's a bitch. I hate that castle. It's so pretty and it's wonderful and it's lovely and everything, and it's really nice, and the gift shop was great, and there's so much stuff and it's pretty. And I'm very much a history person and a castle person. We have before we got the dog, we used to be very avid visitors of castles in the area. Pretty much that was like our weekend out thing, like we'd go out to just a castle that was nearby. So it's great, love it. The problem is the fact that it is one of the weird castles. It's on a hill. That hill is in a ditch.
It's in a what?
It's in a ditch. So there's these loads of big hills all around the place, and then there's a big old like ditchy, almost nearly a canyon sort of thing, really big hole in the ground, and there's a hill in the middle of that, and that's where the castle is.
That sounds fantastic.
It's fantastic. What isn't fantastic is that the road to get to it was at like a fucking, like genuinely it was a terror slope, as I would like to call it, where it is basically like, oh, I don't know, steep is the best way to put it, because I can't even describe how steep. Like, not so steep it's almost vertical, but it was pretty fucking close. That sort of steep.
So like San Francisco roads.
Probably, yeah. I've never been to San Fran, so I can't necessarily say, but it was terrifying. Put it that way.
I'll show you pictures.
Yeah, it was the sort of slope, put it this way, it was the sort of slope that you had to go down sideways to keep your footing on. that was the sort of slope it was. It was terrifying.
Yeah, San Francisco streets.
Yeah, so I went up and down that 4 times. I went down twice on the first visit, twice on the second. And there was a shuttle bus, actually, but you had to pay for the shuttle bus, and if you wanted to go on the shuttle bus, you had to inform the teachers that we were with for that trip, and you had to take a buddy. Which, I mean, is fair, because, you know, children on a bus on their own going to a castle.
Right.
So, and they are responsible for us as the teachers, so, you know, made sense, but it was a fucking pain in the ass, because I had to find a friend on that trip to go down in the bus with me if I wanted the bus. But yeah, so the first trip actually wasn't too bad. And like back down wasn't too bad. Up was a lot better because it's up, but it was tiring as fuck.
Right.
The one that was the problem was that second trip to Germany. The up wasn't too bad. We actually splurged and we got the bus. I was there, my brother was there. We kidnapped a couple of extra friends from the group and was like, let's just take the fucking bus. We'll all spot together for the money and go. Because none of us wanted to climb up there. And the reason that none of us wanted to climb up there is the same reason that trip down was the nightmare of that entire Germany trip.
It was raining, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So the slope was fucking slippery.
Of course.
We only a few people skidded down it, but like literally I walked the entire way down like sideways and holding hands with like a couple of other people to try and keep each other from slipping. It was really funny. There were genuine daisy chains of people going down this hill because it was raining and disgusting. But the thing that was more fun though was when we got laughed at for like kind of holding hands and daisy chaining, because obviously it's like I was what year was this? I was year 10, so I would have been about 14, I think, and then I've got my brother who would have been a little bit like not much younger than me, but just a little bit younger than me. I'm not putting that one on the internet. But like people know that information, but like he's only a little bit younger than me, so it's sort of the awkward age where a lot of kids his age would sort of pick on you if you're like holding hands with your parents or your siblings. Right. So we on that trip quite a lot actually. He ended up holding my hand because he was a bit homesick and stuff. And there was this one stupid child that genuinely could not stop mocking. And it was especially bad on the third day, so like the middle of the week thing, because like Monday we were mostly travelling, and then Tuesday was the castle, Wednesday was a trip around, a trip on a ferry and then a trip around Rudesheim. Thursday we went to a theme park, and then Friday we went home. So it was all quite nice and comfy, but it was especially bad on the Wednesday when we were walking around the city and sort of, like occasionally holding hands to keep... See ya, Care! Like holding hands to keep from getting kind of lost when we were walking about and stuff. Right. But like, it was specifically on that second day where it's me, my younger brother on one side, and then there's like a couple of other people in front of me, and we're all kind of holding hands, daisy chaining our way down. And this stupid child is like laughing, and obviously he's got his little clique, and they're all having a laugh because it's like, oh yeah, the kids are all holding hands, and like, oh look at him, they're so silly because they're holding hands, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to stab you all. The number of times that they slipped and fell made it worth it, honestly. Like, they never fully, like, face planted or, like, scraped knees, like, fell, but they had very, very wet jeans and stuff by the time they got to the bottom. And, like, they probably had very bruised arses from just falling over themselves, and it was kind of great.
Excellent.
Yeah, they got that one. And then the rest of the week was a bit of them just being titheads. So, whatever. Honestly, the highlight of that week, though, was when we went swimming, and somebody bought an inflatable unicorn with them. So, like, you know the pool floats? So somebody bought a unicorn one, and it was honestly hilarious. And it was really cool when it was in the pool. But the fun wasn't when it was in the pool. The fun was getting it in the pool. Because there was a car drive to the swimming pool. So these fucking genius children, they're like a year and a half young, like a year or so younger than me, these absolute geniuses decided, hey, we've got a long drive till we get to the pool, let's blow up the inflatable unicorn in the bus and save time when we get to the pool.
How did they get it out?
Yeah, that was the question that was asked. But honestly, the real fun wasn't even getting it out of the bus. The real fun was us sitting at the front of the bus, because I was talking to the teacher at the time, and my brother was sitting next to me, and catching sight in the rearview mirror of just this inflatable unicorn head slowly peering up over the fucking chairs as they start blowing the thing up, and turning around and like sort of half standing in the chair as we're driving and being like, what the hell? Because I was one of like the eldest in the group. I was one of the quote-unquote semi-qualified adults for the class, because I was one of the eldest in that trip. And just like half standing in the chair looking over like, what are you doing? Because this unicorn slowly inflates in the back of the bus. And that was honestly like one of the highlights of that entire trip.
That sounds fantastic.
We did eventually get it out of the bus, and it was literally like, as we were stopping, they sort of were like, okay, and they all started standing up and getting ready. And then they sort of looked at each other and went, wait a minute. And you could see the realization of, how the fuck are we getting this off the bus? Cross over their face before somebody pops the tab and starts deflating it to make sure they can get it through. And it was like, that's well, I mean, at least you solved the problem.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it was really dumb.
Yay! 100% more sandwich wrap.
Yay, more sandwich wrap is good. We like those. But yeah, that Germany trip was fucking incredible. The first one I don't remember very much of, because it was 2 years earlier than that, so I was, like, 12. I was a kid, properly, like, I was really young. You were a baby child. Yeah, I was really young for that trip. I don't remember it very well. Although I do remember it being a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure that was the trip where I got the shot glasses. Because I don't think... I picked up more souvenirs, I think, on the second trip than the first trip, because I was less worried about the money. Because the first trip, it was like my first time out of the country, it's my first time really being away from home for more than like a night at a sleepover and everything. And like obviously with a sleepover, you can call abort mission any time and just get your parents to come pick you up. Obviously, That doesn't happen when you're across the fucking strait. Really, it don't work. So like that one I was a barrel of nerves for pretty much the entire trip, and I'm in Germany and I don't speak that language very well. I didn't speak it very well the second time either, but the first time I was still in my slightly obsessed about being perfect with the language thing, so I kept trying to speak it to people and like doing my absolute best, and it was really awkward and cringy because I didn't know what the fuck was going on half the time and my pronunciation was awful, and it was just a bit of a mess. Like I was probably endearing. But it was also a train wreck because it's like, yeah, this kid doesn't know what she's doing. And then the second time, like, I was having more fun because it's like, I'm a bit more relaxed with things and a bit more chill. I gave a bit of a less of a shit about the whole German thing. And I didn't really care quite as much about worrying about how much money I was going to have or anything. Most of my energy just went on keeping an eye on my brother, honestly, that entire trip.
Right.
And just dealing with idiots, so... I got more souvenirs. But yeah, anyway, that dragon is amazing, and I'll have to show you a picture at some point, because it's great.
Yes.
And then I'll probably end up redrawing the teacup dragon with that as a reference instead, because it's incredible.
It is a very... I don't know. I like the teacup dragon you drew me.
Yeah, the teacup dragon is just the right amount of derp to be where he's supposed to be, honestly.
Yes.
Because, like, originally it was supposed to be, like, kind of more of a slim-faced dragon, but it didn't... I couldn't sketch it properly. Like, I couldn't quite get what I needed for it. To, like, sketch that right, so I just went with a bit of a silly, derpy guy instead. Because apparently that's what I'm good at. I'm good at cartoony style. But only sometimes.
Alright. Hey, so it's been, like, over 2 hours now.
Yeah, it has. That went really quick. I wonder why.
It did.
All of these stories
no
about
idea.
all of our bullshit.
Should we call it here, do you think, or keep going for a while?
I mean, I'm down for either, because it's not actually that late for me, so if I call it here, I'm probably just going to end up uploading then going to bed. But I'm down to keep going if you want. I don't mind.
Actually, I'm getting a bit of a headache. So...
I was about to say, if you've got, like, stuff to do or, like, a headache or anything, then
Oh, well,
I'm down for
also,
calling
I
it.
do need to go do laundry, too.
Yeah. Well, I've actually just
yeah.
hit 7:10, so I'll just save and call it, I guess.
Yeah, save and call it sounds fine.
Save!
Let's see if we've got anyone to...
Anyone to raid is always a good sign as well. Okay.
Yes.
I still need an end screen, but you'll just sit on my starting soon screen until I get one of those.
The only one I can raid is you.
Oh, excellent. Do I have anybody that's going
has...
on?
Yes.
What's going on? No, I don't have anyone either on my follow list, so that's a problem.
Alright, Shard wants me to try to go to 200. Nah, I think I'm okay with this right here now, Shard, but thank you. Yeah, you take care too.
Yeah, you take care as well.
Dylan's on?
Is he?
Who's that?
Pika Spray. That's the person who's doing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I think. Although I don't know if that's what they're doing.
Pika Spray?
Yeah, hang on.
What do you think? Should we...
Let me check what they're doing.
raid?
Let's go find out.
Yeah.
I swear I follow Pika Spray, but apparently not. Thing doesn't say that they're live. Oh, Asprey FM. Okay, that explains why why I don't follow them. Oh yeah, they are live. What are they doing? Let's find out.
Super Mario World.
Yeah, I think they're doing some sort of Kaizo thing. Or a ROM hack. Yeah, they appear to be doing some sort of ROM hack. Yeah, we can go for that if you want.
Yeah, sure, why the hell not?
Bit of a bigger streamer, but you know,
Bit of a bigger streamer, so me with all of my 7 viewers.
Yeah, and me with basically the same viewers as Kali.
Yeah. Have a good night, Hex. Sleep well when you get there. Everyone else, I hope you have a great weekend. And thank you so much for being here, listening to all of this bullshit.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna
enjoyed the cursed houses stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother sending off the raid because I'm pretty sure all of my viewers are being shared with Kali, so Kali can just send her squad off on a raid and it'll basically be the same thing. So instead I'm just gonna say thanks for being around and dealing with our shit as well. Hopefully, in theory, I'm actually gonna be streaming more than just the SoulSilver stuff at some point. Whether that is in the next 2 weeks, unknown, but after that I am on reading week, so at the very least then I will definitely be doing so due to the magical power of being on holiday from your schoolwork and not having to deal with that.
Alright, it looks like the raid is about to go off, so...
Onwards then.
Yeah. Onwards. We'll see you all later.
Ta-ta, Ribbit.
Bye.